Welcome to Off Da Binge podcast, your seasonal anime review podcast of animation, and I'm your host, Legendary Vash, and with me is my co-host Crash, or as we like to call him, the Hispanic Assassin. This is your go-to seasonal anime podcast where we dive into the best and unexpected and the hidden gems of everything of the fall season. On today's episode, on the third episode live once again. Yes, you got a live episode later than last week, but we're here for episode live. And we bring you the week 6 coverage of the fall season anime, and we'll jump into week 7, what's to come, what are we hyped for, and what's done, as Crash would call it, mid for this week.
Yeah, you say all that.
So, as your host, Legendary Vash, I am Vash. You know me. I'm all about the long titles of Sekai and adventures and the opais.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Crash, aka the Hispanic Assassin, the side character being strung along by these OP Gyat waifus this week.
Yes, as you heard, we are on episode 3 for this week Off Da Binge. We appreciate for everyone coming to tune in or watching this as a VOD. We appreciate the support, guys. We are about to be audio feed officially this week. Probably its own feed, so stay tuned for that in the description for all the links down below. And I'm excited to talk about week 6. I know we're a bit late since we started on week 3, I believe, and now we're on week 6. So overall, it's pretty exciting to get into the week and finally get to the anime that we've been watching, discussing, or binging this week. So I'm really excited for that.
Halfway done with the anime season already. It's like time flies by.
So once I saw it, you watch episode 6 of this anime, I watch episode 7 of this anime. I'm like, shit. We're like 6 weeks left then. Like, damn, time is flying by fast. Like, now that you watch it weekly and you just check off the anime, like, if you guys have the app, this is not sponsored by AnyList, but if you have the app of AnyList on your phone and you watch the new episode of that you watch it weekly, all you do is swipe and then it adds to the number of the list that you're watching. So it's just pretty cool to see. And then once I just swipe today or just previously and I saw episode 6, episode 7, like, fuck, we're that far away, but also yet that close.
Next thing you know, we're going to be in the winter 2025 season, and stay tuned for that.
Look, I'm excited for 2 things in December and January. One, fuck everything else, because Sung Jin-woo is having a movie, and I'm going to be pure me head mode on that week, on that day. And then the winter season, I'm going to be Sung Jin-woo praising. I bet you that week, every single week of Off Da Binge, my episode week will be Sung Jin-woo solo leveling. I'm gonna tell you this now, chat. Like this past couple episodes, Vash is always having a rom-com or a shoujo type of anime or Sekai anime this week. No, he's having Sung Jin-woo webtoon, fucking best anime webtoon of what Crunchyroll has produced so far.
That is a very bold take. I'm not gonna lie though, I do agree with you. I'm excited. I'm actually gonna watch the theatrical premiere coming out next month.
Yes,
maybe with you. Stay tuned. The first 2 episodes are ready. We're gonna do a reaction on that, definitely. But you said you had another one. What's the other anime you're looking forward to besides Solo Leveling Season 2?
Oh no, I was just saying, like, I'm hyped for the movie and the show. What else is coming in winter? I cannot remember on top of my head. That's like pure hype of what is coming out. Let me see, like, what is
I got one for you, and people are gonna dislike me for it, but you know what? I'm here for the bad takes. The 100 girlfriends that really love you. Season 2's coming out in the winter 2025 season. That is gonna be my top tier episode every single day. We're getting you waifus. We're getting you girls in this harem. I can't wait for the silent girl. We all been waiting for her. In the manga, she goes hard. I'm not gonna spoil nothing else, but that is a very good rom-com harem anime I do recommend. Please try to catch up with it because season 2 is gonna go hard. I know you're laughing because I know you know what I'm talking about.
No, I just found out the anime that I'm gonna be hyped for just to bother Walk-ins, Crash, and Jokester for the next 3 months in winter. It's called I may be a guild receptionist, but I will solo any boss to clock out on time.
damn it! I do know what you're talking about. I do know what you're talking. It is on
I don't
my
know what this anime
watch
is
list.
about other than the title list. I'm like, word, I'm gonna watch it just to bother the team. Like, yo, look at this. He's watching another long series anime, but still not finished. Alaya or any of the summer animes and everything, but he's gonna watch all these longer titles. Sekai, what?
No way for you to watch High School of the Dead. I had some friends shocked too when I told them that you didn't finish it. They said, "What are you waiting for? Just watch it. You already saw episode one. Just finish the rest." And I said, "What are you waiting for too?"
Look. If I don't work tomorrow, I'm gonna just go live on Twitch. Be like, all right, look, I got shit to do, but I'm tired. Let's just start watching High School Death for 11 episodes straight. That might be something I might do. Who knows? But when it comes to honestly the second anime I'm hyped for, since we just want to to chime in and speak about it, Dr. Stone Science Future. We on the fourth and final season of Dr. Stone. For anybody who's unaware, Dr. Stone is one of my best and favorite animes. Like, I'll say top 10. I love the character Senku. I love science. I was always good in science in high school and as a kid. I love astrology as well. And the questions of life and the question of reincarnation and those. Plus, with Senku, with not reincarnation, it was more like you preserve your body for 2,000 years, and this motherfucker counted each type of millisecond, and just imagining the process and everything. And I'll spoil about one thing about the final season, so I'm curious to see how the events happen of that aspect. So I'm fucking excited. I'm fucking thrilled for Dr. Stone. And the only anime that I'm hyped for, Solo Leveling Season 2, Arise from the Shadow. Yo, chat, y'all don't know how hyped I am for this show. I literally read Season 1. I was like maybe like 10 or less episodes, chapters away from the end of Season 1. So this covering Season 1. Yeah, I'm not ready for Ingress, for Tank, and the others.
I can't wait to see it. I hope the first two episodes show promise. Cause
promise, it's not promise. That shit is gonna be more than mid. I remember when Crash spoke to me like, "Yo, I ain't watching this. It looks mid." I'm like, "No. Watch Solo Leveling. Watch it." He was gonna skip it at first, guys. Look at this. I'm gonna throw him under the bus. He was gonna skip it. He was gonna have the audacity to skip this anime. I said,
Look.
"Don't do this to me. I need to hear your thoughts." And then I think he binged it after episode 5. I think is when you start to watch it. Four. See, I remember this one conversation for sure because Sungjin was Solo Leveling. Look how hype I am. I'm just like infested by the hypeness of this. So like, nah, you gotta watch it. And he did, and he enjoyed it. I think he gave it an 8 out of 10, I believe.
Yeah, like I said, all my opinions are like, subject to change at any point in time, and that's why I always tell people I give it until week 4 to give things a chance. So when I saw it was still top 10, when I've been hearing great things about the webtoons itself too, and that's one of the webtoons I was also recommended to read, which I didn't. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot, and I did watch it, and I'm like, oh. Then I got to episode 2, and I said, oh. Then I got to episode 3 and 4, and I said, oh, and it got better, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not even mad. I was not even mad. I'm like, generally, this anime was definitely recommended, and I'm glad I listened to it because it wasn't bad. It was good. Let's see if season 2 holds out. He says yes. I will be the judge of character, and I'll be the opposite and say, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see.
Love it. Like we spoke about, just a hype of what's to come. The only thing that's important for the winter season. What we're going to talk about first is our second segment of the show. You guys heard our introduction, who we are. You guys heard already of the past episodes 2, 1. If you want to see more about our taste of the trash, the mid, the conversation, go check out episode 0. If you want to see more about the Anime podcast, go check out Agatha All Along season 1 review. I'm not sure if there's going to be season 2, but if it's not, it's an anthology series, I believe it's considered. So go check that out. Other than that, Weeps of the Ring is live every Mondays and Fridays. What a promotional plug. What we're doing for Anime Podcast episode 157 this week will be Arcane League of Legends Season 1 review on this episode, and just to do an animation spotlight and a little small Weeps of the Ring. I mean, Weeps Lounge. So the full episode will be like a good hour and a half of content of Arcane. So if you haven't seen Season 1 yet, what the fuck are you doing? You're way behind, 2 years too late. If not, jump on that. Season 2 is airing this week already. Episode 1, 2, and 3. Episode 4, 5, and 6 coming this weekend. So stay tuned for that. We will review Arcane in the next coming weeks for the month of November. Am I missing any of the plugs? I feel like I'm done, right? Yeah, that's it, right?
You did forget the most important thing. I had to say it in the mic really loud. Echo is always main. GG easy.
Yes, it seems like that's the main thing to say. I'm unaware of that. I don't have never played League of Legends or know of it.
If you saw the fight, you know what I'm talking about. Jinx and Echo, that one scene, no spoilers, but if you've seen, you know what I'm talking about. Best scene all time, 10 out of 10. Top 10 fight scenes of all time animated. You cannot fight me on this, but no spoilers.
As you said, no spoilers. But what you do want to know, this episode involves spoilers. So all the time codes are in the description down below, are in the time chapter. So definitely, as always, like the streams, subscribe if you are new to the Anime Leader podcast and to the Off Da Binge, to the Shonen Ronin new channel of Anime Studio. The old one has become a vault of VODs or things that Vash or the team has reacted to or game. Even, us playing Call of Duty on stream that we've been trying to plan but hasn't happened. But we will put it there as well on the Vault channel. But here, we're here talking about anime of the fall season of 2024. And without further ado, let's talk about our fall season episode of the week. I'm going to pass it to you, Crash. What was your episode of the week of week 6 that just passed by?
Ooh. So, before I even get into that, God, I want to talk about real quick a little shout out to stuff I was watching before.
Yes, thank you. The episode of the week. That's the one. Wrong segment. That's the third segment. The second segment is that have you binged anything of this week for week 6? Have you taken the time to watch or catch up to anything from the hot and flop, or have you binge watched anything that you were behind on your backlog? That's the transition I meant to say.
It's going to be a bit of a doozy, so I'll try to make it quick for you guys so we can get to the other one. But I want to give a small shout out to a very specific anime that a lot of people do love. It's a fantasy anime, one that has been out for a very long time. 4 seasons right now with a movie that just released this weekend. It's a little anime that I like to call Overlord. The movie just came out, the Sacrificial Kingdom.
Oh yeah, how was it? I remember you seeing it this past Friday.
The review is going to be out very soon. Keep an eye on that whenever the website release. But I will say here on the podcast, an 8 out of 10. I genuinely enjoyed it. I watched it with my friends. One is up to date with me. The other one is only up to season 2. And just with knowing that knowledge and everything, that even though he was behind, everybody loved the movie. It was a ton of fun. The action sequences went so hard. It didn't have to go that hard. The CGI in that specific movie, and I'm a very, very picky person when it comes to CGI. That CGI was not bad looking at all. I personally did not mind it, and I always shit at CGI. So I'm actually glad that this movie actually took its time to animate the fights, how the background characters looked around. That, it's really hard to do that with animation. So I'm glad that Overlord did not mess that up with the time that it's taken since season 4 releases. With no spoilers in mind, fuck the kids. If you know, you know, but fuck them kids. The Grandmaster, total bitch.
Yo, every time I hear the phrase or the term fuck them kids, I always think of the meme of Michael Jordan of him in the black and white of saying in the hashtag, fuck them kids. That's the meme. Always, every time I hear that phrase, my brain just triggers to that meme. I just want to point that out.
So again, this is gonna be a non-spoiler review. But the best way I could say it to you guys without ruining any of the movie, which I do highly recommend watching. So fuck them kids. Fuck the Grandmaster. That's all I have to say. I have a lot more to say about her, but fuck her on God. Eins owns God is justice, and if you know, you know, he is justice. CZ is a waifu and a whole mood. I would love to see more of her in season 5 if we can, but I'm glad we were to see her. The fight scenes again that went so hard. They didn't have to go so hard. You see Eins Ogun go hard with his right hand man. You've seen also other fights, with the background characters. Everything was animated so beautifully. The plot is a perfect point A to point B with, again, if you know Overlord, there's a lot of 4D chess being played in the background that everyone thinks is him, Eins doing, but it's actually the NPCs doing, so it's the exact same thing. So, of course, everyone's laughing, oh, this is what he's thinking? Oh my god, he's so intelligent. I never thought about that at all. It's the exact same shit from season 1 and onwards. So you're still seeing the same thing happening. Honestly, for a 2 hour movie, a 2 hour anime movie, I'm glad I was able to see it in theaters. I saw it in IMAX, so I had a better experience. I definitely recommend watching it in theaters with friends or alone. It doesn't matter, but definitely recommend it.
We
If
don't
I'm not
judge
mistaken,
if you go to
yeah,
if you go to movies by yourself. I've done it. I've done two movies by
me
myself.
too.
That's a
Me
problem.
too.
Look,
There's nothing wrong watching movies alone.
going to events, activities, that's a whole different story. But movies, at the end of the day, you're watching the movie in silence already. So you going by yourself to watch a movie already by yourself is kind of almost the same shit. Because the only thing you do with a person, is y'all talk to, through each other jokes, like, hey, ask questions. But that's about it. Y'all just have a full depth conversation after the movie. So you going by yourself, enjoy it.
Plus, we're in 2024. You get to choose your seats. So if you don't want to sit with anybody, just choose to sit alone. Perfectly fine.
Yo, I'm
But
happy. I'm happy. Yo, look, all right. So two things about your experience about the movie. One is you mentioned that you saw Overlord with somebody who was a bit behind. So you suggest anybody that just wants to watch a movie like this. Like, for example, if I went with you and have never seen Overlord season 1 to current, would that affect me? Or I should at least seen, season 1, 2, or 3?
so first off, before everyone kills me in the comments, I said sacrificial like an idiot. No, it's the Sacred Kingdom. I don't know why I keep saying that. I'm sorry. Second
Sorry, I couldn't correct you. I'm like, I don't know. I trust your opinion blindly.
So to answer your question, right? It is highly recommended to be up to date with the anime because for the person who watched it with me, shout out to you, Lyndon. You're my best friend, homie for life. For someone who is at season 2, you miss a lot of context. And again, it's gonna be hard to not spoil a lot of things, but you see a lot of the kingdom, Ainz's kingdom, that you wouldn't have known about if you were still in season 2. So for anyone right now, because I also, you're not the only person too. I also have other friends, other people who do watch Overlord, but they're not up to date. They're at season 2, season 3, even a couple episodes to episode 4, season 4, excuse me. So my best advice for a movie like this, which that I'm not mistaken is canon right now, it actually ties into what's gonna happen potentially in season 5. Fingers crossed. I do recommend watching the entirety of Overlord seasons 1 through 4 to the movie because if you are behind, you do know the characters, you will know names. But say you're on season 1, excuse me, the ending has a character that is shown in future seasons that you wouldn't know about. Say for example, so it's best to know these characters by watching, the whole, season in chronological order, so you know the plot twists, you know the characters' names, okay, I know these people, I know the background area, the land, like, what's going on. You have an idea of what happened in the previous, episodes, the previous seasons. Now I know where the plot's gonna go, taking me forward to potentially season 5. If not, you're just gonna be more confused about, oh, who is he? Who is she? I don't understand. You're gonna get that if you're not at least at season 2.
Okay, that is pretty interesting to know that because I've noticed of the new type of renaissance we're in of anime movies coming out like for each shows now or having some type of theatrical release. Like I remember this started with Demon Slayer right after it got popular from season 1 and then premiering their first movie I think in 2021 or 2020 I believe, and seeing how much money it made and how much popularity other animation studios in Japan said like, hey, we should have a business meeting. Can we release in other big animes? Like, you see how it's working for My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer now. They started to do it for Black Clover. Now they're doing it as we do make jokes of Solo Leveling earlier segment. We also saw myself and Crash. We also saw the first 3 episodes of Danadon as a movie. So it seems like movies is becoming a thing now for a lot of shows. I want to ask about this as well. Do you think this is also being a good thing? Like, as a movie, I have a side story of Overlord. Did this work as a movie, or do you think this could have worked better as a 12-episode arc or 6-episode arc and then added more in that season?
That's a great question. Me personally, I didn't mind it being in a movie format. I do think, yeah, if you really want to argue it, you could see it in a couple episodes, make it a whole season in itself. But the thing that is not really explained enough is what's gonna happen after the fact with the with the kingdom. So, in my opinion, I think it's fine the way it is. It just it's a prequel. From what I can tell, from what I gather, it's a prequel to what they're trying to bring out in season 5. I think what the main thing they're gonna bring out is after the fact. Now that they know now that they have like a hold in the kingdom. Now that something is gonna happen without spoilers. I think that's what they're trying to push more forward. Could have been made another season in itself, a couple episodes. Yeah, definitely. But I feel like the movie was just the right amount of time, the right amount of action, the right amount of pace, where it's like, yeah, I enjoyed it. I even would get to be as bold to say, even for the grading I gave it, I'd rewatch it again just for like just to be like, yeah, like it was that good. It wasn't great, but it was for an anime movie that came out for 2024, and there were a lot of anime movies that came out for 2024. Overlord would be on the top list for me personally.
Huh. I never got into Overlord, shockingly, and it's an isekai of a character, I think, dying,
Crazy.
dying and playing video games, and then he became a sim character into the game he was playing. So concept-wise, it calls my attention. I love video games. I grew up with video games, and I love anime. I love isekai story and the genre, but I just never got into it. I think I tried back a couple years ago. I just don't remember when, and I think I saw up to episode 4. He was doing like a trial, I believe, from one of his maid, or I think some servant was making him do a trial, and then he was supposed to fight a type of army or skeletons or something. That's the last thing I remember. But that's from season 1, and who knows how long ago that was, or that season.
2015. 2015.
So look,
Yeah.
the show has been now in 10 years, about to be its 10th anniversary. The manga's probably has been 2013, 2012, or probably earlier, who knows. So it's just wild to think I've never watched it, or like Overlord itself.
See, now this is why you have me, and this is why I believe, everyone in comments, chat's gonna agree with me when I say you are missing out on the most important, iconic character in this show that everyone loves and adores. And yes, you know who I'm talking about. I will say none other than Albedo. She's definitely the one you gotta look out for in this series. It's not just about Ainz, trying to get his way back into the real world. You gotta look out for her. She is waifu material, always top tier, 100%, and we all know why. What I will say in this movie, and again, this is supposed to be spoilers free, but just for the sake of argument, unfortunately, you don't see a lot of her in the movie. There's only 3 scenes, maybe a couple of voice interactions with her and Ainz, and that is it. So I was a little disappointed. That's why the grade wasn't so higher than what it was, because I wanted to see more of her than anything. But unfortunately, you only get specific characters in the movie, and you'll see why. I'm hoping she will see more of her in season 5, but time will tell, honestly. But we do see some of her, nothing crazy. There's an interaction there too, so I was glad to see her. I'm glad that she wasn't not there. But more than anything, I wish we just had like just another minute, another scene with her, because everybody loves her. Like she's a what can be said about her that hasn't been said already? She's crazy, but she's a loving crazy that everybody loves. And then I would love to see a scene where she's trying to get into Alan's pants, honestly.
I feel like you can't go wrong in that aspect when it comes to the anime of Overlord, and it's just you've been disappointed in a character not being part, and your rating went lower for that. I hope people can also be mad at, that's what rating is. And when it comes to like, as much as I joke around your trash and made rating, which like that's more of opinion. Like, yeah, that's a questionable rating. But when it comes to your rating, I never say that it's wrong. I just question it. But that's how you feel about it. 8 out of 10 is still good rating, and you have an expectation about a movie that you're going to see, and the character was not there as much as you would have liked to see. That's totally fine, because you wanted the movie to be better or have that ideology to be. The same thing for My Hero. I was seeing this past movie, it was like it could have been better. There was some stuff that we were like questionable, some characters that just feel sidelined, and the mission and everything. But we have seen previous My Hero movies where 5 of them were like those now have a ranking that could be like which one's better, story, how did they focus more. But for Overlord, this was their first movie. So as a standalone, as you said, 8 out of 10. When it comes to a second movie, it can actually be a lot better.
For sure, for sure. I mean, I'm not gonna get into the My Hero thing. I know that's a whole can of worms I'm not ready to go into. All I'm gonna say is the last movie that came out, mid as fuck, and I would hope that Vash agrees with me for sure. But the first movie is will always be my top favorite one of all time.
The first
But
one, I don't know top of my head right now for us to get into a conversation of like ranking or the first one being the best one. But this one, I'm not saying it was mid, like probably 6 or 5, actual correct rating, but towards yours, probably 7. I would say it is a 7, not mid, but I would say it's a 7 as it's rewatchable. I would say is it rewatchable more than 2 or 3 times? No, but it's rewatchable like once a year type of thing, just to do like a My Hero binge or like a marathon. I feel like that's fine too.
definitely. But in general, for anybody who is looking for a good fantasy isekai, anime, which has some, I guess you would want to say psychological, more of like thinking, where the chess moves being made in the background, kind of scenarios, with a lot of side characters who are learning, even though that they are technically NPCs from a game, that they may have their own entity, their own selves. Uh, I do recommend the anime overall, and I do recommend the movie. If you're not able to watch it in theaters, definitely hope it comes out soon on whatever streaming service, Crunchyroll, Netflix,
Or go down the
Hulu,
Grand
etc.
Seas on the Grand Line.
We here, at Off the Binge podcast, do not condone any kind of pirating whatsoever. If
Like
we
I
do get
said,
sponsors,
on the perspective of what you may see, sponsors would know that. I'll tell you guys, hey, perspective. I love One Piece. My name is called Legend D Vash. I have the will of D. So maybe all these lines are a pirate reference. That's all.
but until then, definitely recommend it. 8 out of 10. Try, honestly. If you have nothing to watch, I definitely recommend the movie.
Awesome. So that's Overlord. Sees the movie of the Sacrificial Kingdom. Psych. It was a sacred kingdom, is what he said. Look, when it comes to Vash for what he currently binged this anime week, look, try. I didn't do shit of anime binging. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't do any homework on that side or conversation aspect. Look,
Shame on you.
I've been slacking on my Ace of Diamond. Look, I'm gonna be honest. I've been busy. I've been working. In my current season of the busy or on the peak season. Right now we're working. We're busy. Any freelancers getting work, I feel like you gotta say yes. So, cause right now in December, it's holiday season. After Thanksgiving, for my line of work in the entertainment industry, that's when a lot of producers, clientele, or actor celebrities like to take vacations. So Thanksgiving until New Year's or the first week of January is when there's a slow season. So if I got work right now and I only sleep 3 or 4 hours a day and still produce content, to me, that's called a successful win. I'm making money and making content. That is to me a win. So right now I'm just working a lot this past weekend and also this coming weekend so far. So I'm gonna take the opportunity as best I can get. So that's why I'm behind a lot of content coming out of even me watching Danmachi. I told Crash right before we launched this podcast, like, yo, he's telling you Danmachi right now, it's fire, it's hot, you gotta get it, we should talk about it. I'm like, word. I try to rewatch season 1 and 2 so I could get back into it. Haven't started season 1 or 2. In my head, it's been in my head. I haven't continued Ace of Diamond, like we mentioned earlier, High School of the Dead. Haven't even watched my love of the Grand Line, the One Piece fan letter, and it was so good. I heard many fans talk about it. Haven't even I have a shirt of SAO. I'm slacking the SAO alternative Gun Gale, even though I have not seen season 1 until episode 7, so I'm slacking on that one. But Shangri-La, Frontier. But there is one show I did binge. I know we could talk about it. So this is a perfect. I'm gonna just mention it. It's called Time with with an Amagami Sister. I did binge that one, episode 1. So
You finally saw it.
yeah, finally.
Okay.
So I was trying to watch episode 2, 3, 4, and 5, but I'm like, time didn't get to me. Because look, I got to the hotel for work. Because I went to a hotel for work on Friday night. The whole crew went to sleep. I was like, you know what? Let me try to watch one episode of an anime. I press play on Time with the Not Among Us to watch episode 2. Press play. Like 1 minute in, it was like 1 in the morning, and I had to wake up at 5, so my body probably knew or something. But 1 minute in, all I remember was on my tablet and going, and then after I woke up, I saw my tablet still there, and my glasses on the floor, and I'm like, oh, I must have fallen asleep. Damn. And I couldn't continue watching until today. I saw Dragon Ball Daima instead, and I watched a few other animes that I need to catch up on. But I'm slacking. I was like, damn. Like, look, which is just shocking for the Sekai. I haven't even continued from the healer who was banished from his party. In fact, is the strongest. Haven't even seen it since episode 2. So that one you can tell is mid, because that one is really generic. If I haven't continued in the Sekai,
Thank you. We got one, boys. We got one.
Not saying I have dropped it. Not saying I've dropped it, chat. Not saying yet. I'm not dropping yet. But
you know
like,
what?
it's like, damn.
I was gonna say,
I haven't continued. So it's questionable. Like, am I doing something wrong? Is it a show, or is like, hey, maybe if I was CF 3 and 4, maybe it's still good, but we don't know yet.
No, that I mean, hey, I'll take what I can get at this point, but that's fine. I'm glad that you know you were able to get at least some rest. We need to get as much rest as we can when we're working hard.
Nah, I'm sorry. In my head, I'm like, fuck sleep. Team no sleep.
I think I can make up for that, right? So I don't know if I did tell you already, but I was gonna surprise everybody from the last episode when I did say I was gonna skip an anime, and a certain photo came up to my attention on social media, and that specific photo made me drop everything I had on my list. Sorry, One Piece. Sorry, Reckon the Kittens. Sorry, Jujutsu Kaisen. I dropped everything to binge that shit immediately.
Wait,
so,
which one did you binge?
So I started and am up to date with Yakuza Fiance. I did say I was gonna watch it, and I was like, oh no, I was gonna watch it, and then saw the picture, and now I'm up to date. So let me just say, I apologize to everybody in advance who did like the anime, and I did say I was gonna watch it. I was wrong. And I know when I say when I'm wrong, because that show is not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Definitely, what I did expect. It's a lot of aggressive romance and a lot of craziness in between that.
Oh,
but I
really?
don't mind it. But I don't mind it. It's not what
So-
it's not for everybody.
Excuse me. The only two things I know about this anime is one, it was on the timeline on Twitter. I'm not gonna call it X, guys. Twitter, that I saw a boy, the MC was going down on a girl. Like going down, eating his lunch and dinner.
Boy going down on his dinner. No, it does not ring a bell.
He was eating the punani.
Oh, yes.
So that's the
how do I say
only.
this on the spoilers?
So that's the only scene that. So look, so chat. I don't know anything. So what I'm telling you is what I only know, which is 2 information. This is not really a spoiler. I would say consider, because that's a show. It's called Yakuza Fiance. Raised with no, I think that's a Japanese name and everything, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say it.
Yeah,
I'll just leave it as is.
I'm not gonna mispronounce that. But Yakuza Fiance. So the 2 things I know is that he was going down on the punani, eating, I don't know, at the hotel or wherever with a girl. But the most crazy shit is that the 10 seconds I saw of this clip is that he was eating, came up, and then he had the audacity to mention another girl
In front of his side piece.
in front of the side piece, and I'm like, bro, if
Okay.
this is a Yakuza chick, she literally could just go shake and cut you up. Cause bro, any girl would be mad that you even miscall her name. You'd be like, wait, are you thinking about another chick here with me? Why did you say, like, for example, her name is Rebecca, and then you call her Stephanie? I'm like, bitch, who the fuck is a Stephanie? That's what the girl will stop mid punani, mid sex, whatever it may be, to literally understand why did you do this. And that scene, she literally paused. She like, why are you talking about another chick in front of me? And I understand her. So that's 1. 2, the second thing that I found out is that these characters are in high school, and that's one thing that, not saying pissed me off. It's like, yo, Japan, can we just age them by like 2-3 years? Because if this is the type of lifestyle they got, it gotta make it more like relatable. We're in college, because I know the type of shit that goes on here is more college, like 21, 20 related, older, like 18, 20-year-olds or like the 17-year-olds. If they're going through this shit, they're aging up too fast then, because they're like, what the fuck is this?
So so there's a lot of process with this, right?
All right,
so
so
the first
talk
one.
to me, because
Yeah.
after this, because this is the only thing I saw about this, and then we can move on. Talk to me about your Yakuza Fiance experience, and correct my misreading and understanding if there is any.
Okay, so first off, let's talk about that scene you specifically talk about, right? That is what you saw, and what had happened was they were. Let's just make it very simple. Something was going to go down, but what ended up happening was just straight up frisking, just touching each other's bodies. Something was gonna go down, but for the sake of anime's, argument, not going PG 17 R rated, nothing happened. And to that comment you're saying, she did bring it up like immediately right after that. She's like, "How you talking about Yoshino, the girl, in front of me like that? Like you got you got a me, Poppy. Like what's up? What you gonna say? You're gonna talk about her in front of me?" And he's like, "Yeah, I love her. You just a side piece." He said it outright, and I was like, "She's Yakuza. Are you crazy?"
Exactly.
And he's like,
you
"Yes."
are insane to do that in front of any girl. Like any girl, even a Hispanic one or any girl, race don't matter. They will smack you like, how do you have the audacity to do that?
So I will say, I have a general thing when it comes to a lot of comedy, a lot of funny, moments, and seriousness. And one big theme that's gonna come up in this anime is organized crime, Yakuza, right? So when I think of organized crime, I'm thinking serious things gonna happen. Crime, violence, maybe something sexual, whatever. Something negative, not something positive. So this anime takes this into a borderline, funny rom-com with some twists. And those twists are violence. So when I say that it right now so far is having a good balance between, the seriousness and the funniness, I think it's not a bad thing. So when a crazy Yakuza guy is talking about his main girl to the side piece, and she's kind of like what the fuck about it, they made it in a way where it's like yeah, that's so crazy, bro, but like you're making a joke about it. You're not like, really, like this trope again, like God, I've seen it so many times. So like, oh no, this is so boring, whatever. No, they've made it a balance into where like I generally liked it. It was funny. It was a nice take on the the idea. It was enjoyable. And then to your thing about the age aspect, I believe the reason why they're making it to a high school has to do pretty much with Kira. I'm gonna pronounce his name wrong, and I apologize. Kirishima's past, because he did join the Yakuza at the age of 12. As to why?
Okay, so story related of why they're in that
Yeah,
aspect.
the plot and everything is all in that way. So that's why they're in high school. Now, what I like specifically about the characters in general is that even though they're in high school, they look older. Me personally, I can get away with that. That's fine by me. You can be looking really like older but be younger in a type of scene like that. That's fine by me.
They do look older in anime, because when I saw the dude, going down, and when he came up, I thought he was like in his early 20s. Like he looked like a guy that do a 9 to 5 job in some type of office. He probably is an analysis or something. Like that's what he looked like. I think he had like a suit and tie or some type of shirt with tie, and it looked like, okay, he's believable. Like he looked like he just came from work.
Yeah, yeah. 100%. Like he does play the part. I'm not gonna spoil, but he has tattoos to prove he's in the Yakuza. That's all I'll say on the matter. And not just that one photo, which I'll get to in a minute, but I've seen other clips of Yakuza Fiance, which I did mention in the previous episode. So one of the other things that like really grasped my attention was the aggressive romance that I was explaining to you. So the one big thing, right, was when you're fighting for your girl, when somebody fucks her up, of course you're gonna go ham. But never did I expect this man just to like keep going at it and at it and at it, right? And it turns out she wasn't even that hurt. It wasn't even like the person's fault. But he like it just goes to show, when somebody hurts your girl and you go wild out, don't be mad at the fact like you put hands on somebody I love, you're gonna catch smoke. And that's what this guy did. He protected Yoshina's pride, I guess you could say, even though there is no like actual love connection in a sense. You do hear him say, I love you, this. She has no feelings yet. And the plot does show there's a plan to where like, oh, she's gonna try to make him fall for her in under a year and then break up with him to hurt him really badly. And his plan is to be her ideal man in the best normal way possible, because now in episode 5, as the viewers and him, we all know that he's not normal in the head. it is explained, which I'm not going to spoil, as to why he's not all there. Some events have happened to him. We can only assume more information will be brought, I'm assuming, in future episodes. But from what the gist of what I'm getting, yeah, he's not all in the head there. I guess because he's a very violent type of guy. But he does like this girl. He wants to be with this girl. He'll do whatever it takes to be with this girl. I'm genuinely curious to see how far he will go. And you'll see how far he'll go in some of the episodes, like the recent one that came out. Episode 5 with or episode 6, excuse me, with her cousin coming over to visit. So that was a very interesting episode. Not gonna spoil nothing else, but overall, Yakuza. I'm sorry. Yakuza.
Yakuza
Fiance. Yeah. I definitely liked it. It is a 7 out of 10. I'm not gonna say mid right this second, but it's not an anime I chose firsthand. So I'm gonna give it more time to develop. But I'm genuinely enjoying the anime. I'm glad that I gave it a chance. The photo that I'm referring to is at the end of the episode, the current one that just came out. What I was saying, you pretty much see Yoshino in a bikini, a very sexy bikini, and of course, Kirishima keeps the photo. She's like, no, delete it. No, I'm gonna save it as my wallpaper. So that if you're trying to see just a hint of ecchi, I wouldn't even say ecchi because that's not even ecchi. I would say just a little bit of eye candy, a little bit of fan service, just an idea, with the character that you're gonna see that episode, the latest episode that came out. So definitely give it a shot. Besides that, the only other thing is I've been bitching. A new OVA of High Card came out, episode 25, The Flowers Bloom. It's a transition of what happened in season 2, going on to, hopefully, fingers crossed, season 3. I have mentioned it before in my reviews. Those reviews will be out whenever the website comes out. But to make it really quick, High Card, mid-anime, I thought it would be a lot more cooler with, using cards as powers, to try to, either control the world or use them for good. But in this episode, it was a nice refresher to see all the characters come back and everything. How the characters have moved on or have changed from season 2 to now in the OVA. But it's still not enough to where I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be better. Season coming up, it's still mid to me. 7 out of 10 for that OVA. But I was glad to watch it. I'm glad to see Finn and the crew doing their thing again, trying to collect cards, for Pinocchio and for the government. I'm curious to know what season 3 has in store for everybody, because from what we see in episode 25, a lot of things have happened in season 2 without spoilers, and Pinocchio has a lot of work to do to try to aid the world by collecting these cards as fast as possible. And the only other thing that I have seen besides everything else is I just started watching Ranking the Kings. I saw the complete first episode. It is a really nice anime. I'm not gonna lie. The animation threw me off. It's not your generic, animation that you like to see. And the characters is very, very unique. The prince cannot hear and cannot speak. He is deaf and he's mute. So it's a very unique kind of personality that I did not expect from a character who's trying to be, a king, a great being in the kingdom. Nobody's taking him seriously. Even I would call him monster, whatever. The inhumane figure that was trying, to rob him in the beginning of his clothes and everything like that. Overall, so far with because I have only seen the first episode, I'm liking it. I have seen clips in the past. I have been spoiled on the fight scenes only, thank God. So I know the fight scenes of this anime go really hard. I'm curious to know what the prince is gonna try to do to show that he is the best of the best, like the king of his kingdom. I'm rooting for him, even though I can see a little bit of me in him. You're might be a little what's the word? Not naive, but for being very young, he'll be very I think flirtatious is not the word, but let's say naive for a second moment. He's very not simple-minded, but he's very aware of the world, but he's also very not oblivious. Not make fun of, not mimic. He can be easily manipulated, and we were all like that when we were younger. So I kind of relate to that in that sense. So I hope he changes, but in a good way, so he does learn from these mistakes to make other people make him be a better person overall with rankings of Kings. But stay tuned. I hope to be a little more up to date, a little bit more into maybe episode 5, episode 6 by next week.
I have not seen too much of Ranking the Kings, so that's one thing. Like, I've seen a fight. I didn't even know he was deaf or he couldn't speak. I didn't know about those things. So, not saying I'll spoil. That's probably you probably find out in episode 1 or most likely. So
Yeah, the first 5 minutes. I didn't even peep. I knew he was deaf. I didn't know he was mute. So I that threw me off. I was like, oh, he's both. So like everybody before him, the Kings and everything, you know that like they're like the greatest people of their time. So it's funny like the King produced an heir, his son, who is both mute and deaf. So I took that from an anime perspective, from a plot perspective, as something interesting. So it's kind of like the Rising of Hero, where like you're the underdog. And, not everyone's going to like you. Everyone's going to make fun of you. Everyone's going to tease you. How are you going to be better? How are you going to show the world that you are going to be better than what everybody else once was before you? That's what I'm going to take from this anime, from what this character is.
All right. I fuck with that. So without further ado, I feel like we should jump in to our episode of the week, our actual third segment, not second segment, third segment of this week. And I wanted to ask chat, let us know what's your episode of the week of this anime fall season. So what this segment is about is to discuss to the viewers that what was so far our #1 episode. Even if you watch 3 animes, even if you watch 6, or even if you watch like Crash 9 or myself 12, or even if you watch every single fucking goddamn anime of this season, and I think that's like 22. So if you watch all 22, you must have a favorite episode that you resonated with or you watch. So this is the segment of we're on week 6 of the Anime Fall Season 24, and it's fully underway. So let's talk about the anime that stood out the most of this week. So what's our personal episode of the week? So Crash, I'm gonna let you go first, but before you jump into your episode of the week of romance, I want to ask, how were the other episodes? Not to give highlights or spoilers, but do you feel like so far on a week-to-week basis of the current animes you're watching, are they been good as a weekly watch through, or do you feel like some animes could be pushed in the future or could be recommended as a bingeable type of afterthought?
I like the question. I think every episode of all the animes I'm watching this season has a crazy flux. So to make a big take, something I didn't expect myself to say at all, Dawn to Dawn is not my favorite episode this week, unfortunately. And not to say anything bad, it was a good episode. But there were a lot of underdog animes that were playing right now for week 6 that I thought like, damn, these like the plot is increasing. You're seeing a lot of action happening, or even romance moves. Things are progressing in the story, and that's what I like to see. And if it hits home for me personally, that's where I'd say it went higher in my opinion with my ranking. Now, and that's a good thing about these type of episodes that happen every week. Episodes are gonna be good. Episodes are gonna be bad, and then you have the little moments where there's a little bit of filler in between. So that's why I think every episode is gonna give its chance to shine, and that's why Down to Down is gonna be my first for me. I'm gonna say for this week for season 6, for episode week 6, excuse me. Blue Box episode 6 was my top episode for week 6. I want to give Dalmachi a chance with everything's going on with Freya. You Are Miss Servant, I want to give a shout out to it as well too. A Chinese Assassin went so hard you don't understand. I was screaming on top of my lungs that I upset my girlfriend when she was sleeping. These little things was making me hyped, but what really set the tone for me was Hina.
I would like to add to what you said about You're My Servant, because something you mentioned last week when I wasn't cut up yet. You mentioned how you love how assassins have a special set of skills. Like one is with guns, or one is with knives and everything, and they each have that type of instinct. And you know how some animes or stories say that, you reek, or some characters say you reek of death, or you reek the intent of killing. So when you hear these things, you always be like, what's real, what's not, is that for real life, and you feel the role of the character in real life or the people around you. So when it comes to Humor 7, even when they fought each other or when the main character was trapped in some type of bondage net, I don't know what was going there on.
Yeah, that was a little weird even for me, y'all.
Yeah,
But
that was questionable. Like, okay, you're wearing a bondage suit, but then you're gonna trap him in a bondage net outside in the courtyard of the school at 2 o'clock in the morning.
and she's a cat girl. Look, to each their own. Nothing saying bad about cat girls. Look, I just thought it was a little sus for an assassin anime, but you know, for sakes and purposes of the comedic aspect, I let it slide. I let it rock. Hey, let it cook. Maybe something's gonna happen in the future. I was like, you know what? I'm giving it benefit of the doubt. I'll give it a shot. Let's see what's up. But
Exactly.
it was sus. I will admit that.
I like how when our main character girl came in and she was so skillful with the knife and she was very confident and showing that she's like the
Yuki?
number 4.
Yeah.
Yuki, like that she was number 4 in the world's strongest of assassins, and each of them have their own skill set, and it's like it felt like their own version of League of Assassins, if anybody knows from the DC Comics. So it was pretty interesting to hear that. So I want to give a big shout out to what you mentioned earlier from last week when you said something about the Assassin's Creed, how it kind of reminds me of that. I see much of the references or style of those type of Assassin's Leagues. So that was really interesting to see. So I really appreciate that from Humor Server. And that's one for episode 6, but I will mention that in my quick rundown for my top of the week.
Shout out to Yuki. If you ever want to join the Brotherhood, we slots are always open. I see what you're putting down, mommy. But whenever you're ready, we out here for you. But to run it back to my
episode
main
of the week, your main episode 6 of Blue Box. Talk to me. Do your best not to give full spoilers, but give us your rundown of why this episode 6 resonated. Was the camera? Was it the action? Was it the story? Was it the feelings that resonated? Did it get you crying, or did it get you? Who knows?
So Blue Box episode 6. The best way to say it, really, really simply and quickly. The whole episode is surrounded about Hina, and how she loves ballet, and how we're seeing as a viewers, it's not verbally said yet, but how we can understand that she likes pretty much Taiki.
Yeah, I kind of figured that was kind of obvious that, like, usually the girl best friend always likes the main character if the main character likes another girl. So the girl right now is just being the best friend, throwing the little jabs, throwing the little jokes. Because chat, by the way, I'm only on episode 2, so I don't know 3, 4, 5, and 6, and we're always gonna be a week behind because of Netflix. So it is what it is.
So the episode runs it back again from like the last couple of seconds from the previous episode, and again I'll try to make it as spoiler free as possible. It runs it back from the first, and you see Hina, running back pretty much to Shinatsu. I'm sorry for butchering her name, Shinatsu, to give her back her phone, and she sees something that she's not supposed to see. That's how it ended the last episode. So now we're in episode 6. So now she sees what's going on, and she starts to walk away, and then you see her come back, and then a scene happens. Okay, so now from that point on, there's another situation going on with the 3 of them. The situation is handled, and now we're seeing the perspective of Hina, how she's working hard as a ballet student to be like the top of nationals because her father actually played ballet for the whole country of Japan. I believe I want to say the Olympics or something of that nature in a sports event kind of thing. That's the gist of what it was saying. So her father's well known. So the fact that her daughter is kind of following in his footsteps, everyone has big, big expectation for her. She doesn't see it that way. She sees it as more pressure, but it's nothing to her because she's good at it. Now, the big thing that's motivating her is Taiki, but she's now seeing that, he and Shinatsu are talking. They are pretty much in the same area. If you know, you know. And she actually even saw the bracelet that he has around his ankle that she made for him. So
yeah,
of course,
I saw that as the end of episode 2, that they're lying to each other for where their living situation is, and that nobody knows at the moment, and the bracelet of the ankle. Those were the 2 main highlights of episode 2 from what I saw.
So, I mean, you said it. I didn't want to bring it up, but yeah, she does know where they live now. So that's
Oh,
kind of like,
she does know.
yeah.
Okay.
So now they had to explain it. She knows she's gonna keep it a secret, but now, like, the girl that she likes. I'm sorry. Is living with the other person too. It's kind of weird. They go to the same school. They're talking to each other. And this guy, Taiki, motivates her in a way that he actually doesn't understand. He doesn't see it. That's just the way he is, his personality. Most sports anime kind of decrypts that for any type of MC. So, we're seeing that like, oh, like he makes me want to do better and do more. But because of what she's seeing between, Taiki pretty much and Chinisu, it's messing up her ability to perform better for the upcoming, tournament, the ballet tournament. So now she's messing up. People are saying, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" She's lying to everybody, "Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm fine." But she's actually losing motivation and focus because she is seeing him, his uh, sight on the other girl, not her. So she's not acting her same way. We see her leaving the gym to go back home. A student accidentally pushes her, and something breaks. Gasp. She thinks, "Oh shit, my life is ruined. I can't play ballet anymore. It's over." And who comes to the rescue? None other than Taiki. So Taiki, takes her to the infirmary to see what's going on, see if everything's okay. And she hits him with the, "Oh, but you got somebody already. Why you with me?" And he hits her with the, "That's not important. What's important is that you're okay and that you'll always be okay. And if you need anybody to rely on, I'm here for you." And she gets upset about that because she only wants to hear that from him specifically in a more
In a more
boyfriend
romantic
girlfriend loving.
way,
Yeah,
not like a friendship way.
not a friendly way.
And like,
No,
what
exactly.
sucks that a lot of guys can relate to this because we're just charming or we're just very reliant because that's who we are. But it's perceived where, of course, our daily lives is not anime, guys. We're just saying that in some ways, some guys could experience this, and I'm one of those guys have experienced this. So I'm just putting myself out there that sometimes we just have good, charming attributes that makes us be aware or nice to other people, and sometimes it backfires at us.
Shout out to Taiki. Hashtag Sigma Chan, Riz Lord for short. That's definitely what you are, bro. Because you have not one but two girls right now in your lineup, which is crazy. So again, try to make it spoiler free as best I can.
No, I feel like
But
that's
Eric,
good. Like it sounds like a good episode, and it sounds like the build up the tension between these characters. I know this manga is still going on, and it just shows the romance and everything, and it shows the rom com that goes along with it. So I feel like that's a good success when it comes to storytelling.
yeah, to pretty much dumb it down, everything's okay. But now the girls, both of them understand in their own perspective way that they are each other's competition. So now the main thing going forward
Also,
from
they
episode six
both each other
onwards,
know that they like the same guy, and that was like a it's like a friendly competition between them.
without each other knowing, without saying verbally, it's all said in the head. When you're saying like oh he brought her up about this. That's kind of weird. Or when she sees pretty much Taiki and Chirushu talking, she's thinking in her mind, like we're reading that as the viewers, like, oh, like she actually like talks to him in a way that like is not friendly. Is that normal? So at the end of the episode, you see now like
You know,
the two of them have an understanding that they
I'm
might
more
have to
convinced to
compete for
catch
him.
up now. I'm more convinced to make the time to watch episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6 catch up and get to it because I really want to see where we are now. By the way, I'm glad that when sports anime a big shade shout out to Blue Lock sucking ass. I love it when animes do a good job to reference storytelling when it comes to sports. Because sports is a big, big fucking mental game for anybody that's played sports in real life. When you're not mentally focused, when you have distraction, like one of the biggest thing, that's why any high school coach would tell you stay away from girls to any guys, or to a girls team stay away from guys. Not just because we don't promote or say to get lovely dovely, but when the relationship gets rocky or the relationship gets questionable, the athlete starts to lose focus in the game, in the training, in the practice, and it starts to show the results of what's happening. But for example, sometimes during my high school career of sports and athlete, I did have a girlfriend at times, and that motivated me more. But when I had issues or when things from issues that with your partner or with friendships or things is wrong at home, when they distract you, you come to practice and you're not focused. You cannot shoot the same net that you've been hitting 20 balls straight all in, and then you're missing 15 out of 20. Nah, that's something wrong. So those things show you. So I really appreciate hearing about Hina, her distraction, which I feel bad for her. Hina, I'm sorry that you're going through your love issues, but it's nice to hear from an anime showing the results of what it is when you lose focus in your sports athlete type of way. So I really appreciate that from somebody that would consider myself as an athlete years ago. Not now, hell no, not now, but years ago. I really appreciate that.
So, what I will say is this love triangle is gonna get really interesting. I don't think Hina's a bad character at all, and that's why I said in the beginning, with my intro, the side characters are hot. What I will say, and I don't mind saying it right now, live, pretty much on the podcast, is one of the biggest takes I personally think is gonna happen. I think it's gonna be a big plot twist, but I saw it coming anyways. I think Koyu, Taiki's best friend, I think he likes or is in love with Hina.
Yes,
this has not been said yet.
I've been guessing that too.
I believe that.
It was obvious the way, I think in episode 2, when Hina was questioning about Taiki when he was helping out, or like, hey, Taiki's acting weird. The way Koyu was looking at her like, wait, do you like her? Like, he was analyzing this, and then he stood quiet, but the facial expression in the anime did it good. I don't know how it does for the manga, how you can read the anime expression, I mean the manga expression, but for the anime for Koyu, I saw it too. I saw it.
Look, that's my take. I hope I'm right, because then everybody wins.
I support your take. I'm behind you on this boat. We are on the ship on this grand line.
But yeah, that was my episode of the week. The way they portrayed Hina from being sad to being happy. I like seeing the side character winning, and it's not that she wasn't winning, but we see that like both ways. Like, if she loses, she's gonna be upset, depressed. We see how dark it's gonna go, and if she wins, we see how bright her smile is gonna be, how far she'll go to achieve her accomplishments. And this episode just solidifies like there's gonna be competition between both characters, but between both love interests, and no matter who wins, it doesn't matter. I think they're both gonna do a spectacular performance to both Taiki. I just hope Taiki's not stupid enough to lose both, because we do know MC is that fucking fumble the bag and lose all of the girls. I just hope he's able to maintain one. I would want Chishu to win.
Oh yeah,
but we'll see.
She's adorable as a character. I can't add too much more to what you're saying, but I support, because I trust your opinion when it comes to right now with Blue Box so far, and I like what you said. So when it comes to Blue Box, I support his opinion for episode 6 and the love triangle. Can't wait to see how it goes and how it continues. But my episode of the week, I'm gonna say this, chat, is not the villainous that goes down in history. Not because it was a bad week for this episode. I would say it's number 2 for sure. I'll become villainous from who goes down in history would be number 2. For this week, my episode of the week is the most notorious talker runs the world greatest clan we have as episode 6. For anybody that doesn't know, I'll give a quick synopsis of it. The Noel is the grandson of a legendary seeker called Overdeath and the dreams of surpassing his strength. But it turns out Noel's nothing but a talker, the weakest class of them all. Underrated, he uses his silver tongue to gather allies, develop cunning strategies, and form the greatest clan around. Now, as the most notorious talker, Noel will do whatever it takes to claim some permanency. I don't know. Each episode stream a week in advance on some streaming service. The original TV broadcast started on October 7th. That's
good to know. Good to know.
Good to know. Streaming service and distribution is gonna get really weird the next couple of years with Netflix, Crunchyroll doing this now. Damn, that's a headache. Anyway, guys, I'm sorry. I just took it to myself. Distribution is a very fickle thing. Just know about that. If you ever look into that, it's very fickle. But episode 6 was my favorite because if anybody knows about the mafia, the yakuza, the triad, anything when you involve clans, or Assassin's Creed related assassins and everything, you know this, that people would betray people. That's part of the business, as people would say. That's part of the business.
All too well.
In episode 6, the main character Noel, he knows what he's doing as the character he is. He knows his actions are not all goody two shoes. So the last episode we love, episode 5, he went out to just roam down the streets in the back alley. Somehow a character went to try to jump him, but then it was more of a slave character trying to fight the main character, and it didn't go all too well for the slave. He got actually beat down in this. The master came and tried to protect them, but the master was a little bitch ass, like full character, I would say, and like in his 60s type of old lore type of character, and he kind of just to bribe Noel. That's not the smartest decision. Noel's like, I don't give a fuck who you are. Your slaves try to fight me, and now we got problems. And he literally just put a whole gun to his mouth while talking his demands. Noah literally like, look, and just put the whole gun in his mouth, and literally just talking like, look, you either accept my conditions, or I could just pull this trigger and blow your head. So we came back in episode 6. The slave trader, dude, got mad, went back to the guy that he owed money to, some type of mafia clan triad character, and for some goddamn reason, this guy needs to eat a dentist, because his type of drug, like, you know, every type of anime character is always like a bad guy in this, and somehow he has a drug problem. So with this guy, he's eating rhinestones.
Okay.
I was asking wifey if she could give me some water, guys, and she said no to me. I was very sad. So I'm gonna just be dehydrated out here. But when it comes to the to the mafia buzz, he was eating rhinestones as his drug. Because after he ate it, he was like, oh, that's the stuff. Yeah, that felt good. All right, I need to see some bloody action, violence, but I need to take this before I see that. I'm like, that felt extra, but okay, because he felt like he was going to... Oh, perfect example. So you know how Bane, the character from the DC comics, whenever he's like regular Bane, and then he takes his drugs, and then he goes like all crazy,
yeah,
and then he gets to the big mode. So this is what the character did. Like, he literally ate the rhinestone, and then he literally turned, and his eyes turned red, but he didn't go to big mode. He just got into like a drug like phase, and like, oh, and then like some type of Hulk Hogan shit. Like, oh yeah, I need to see some violence now. It just felt so off, but in a great way to show the character. It looks like he's insane. Because even right after this, the guy that betrayed the plug, because Noel had a plug to give him all the dirty type of secrets in the business of the underworld as well, because Noel wants to know about this, because if he needs to have the biggest clan and you're the talker, you need to know business. If any type of war, information is key. Information is
yes,
one of the most important things that will stop the war, start the war, or even win the war. So that's very huge for that. So I really appreciated hearing that for Noel. But your plug, he betrayed you to the mafia buzz, because he said, hey, I got paid handsomely. Usually the character will kill you because, hey, you betrayed me, you're my plug. The reason this is why episode 6 is my favorite, because of this line. He said, look, you could either kill yourself, I could kill you, because you as the information broker, you betray your pride as a broker, and you let information be known, so that kind of hurt your pride in your business. I could either kill you because, yes, I'm hurt that you betrayed me, but hey, I get it, it's a line of work. But the thing he said is that you owe me one, and I'd rather you owe me one than me killing you, because you're more useful alive.
Okay.
And that's that's one thing I appreciate when anime characters are strategists, because they think ahead. It's like they think about, all right, if I kill you, I lose a broker. I gotta trust another dude that's a broker now, hoping that they don't betray me. But he could either kill himself because he destroyed his pride and he's okay to accept death. Or third option is either I keep him alive and now I'm telling him that I'm letting him live because he owes me one. And it's better for me in my line of work where if I need something information that he needs to cross, he could cross the line for me now. So now he's under my hand, the palm of my hand. So I really love that concept. Like knowing that you get owed for something, it's really nice to hear if that makes sense.
No, no, no. I 100%. I like that concept, right? That like, no one. Let's put this out there, right? Nobody likes being betrayed, especially when it's somebody you love, somebody that you consider a close, friend, anybody that you're around that means something to you. You definitely don't want to be betrayed.
Yeah, because it hurts because you have expectations, you have a bond, you feel like you build a trust with one another. Because trust is two things: you trust, you gain it, or you earn it. Sometimes you have to take the leap of faith to like, hey, I'm gonna give you this trust until you break it, then you fuck up, and now you gotta regain it. That's a whole different process. So now that that broker of information broke it, like, hey, I'd rather you owe me because now your life is on my hands. I just save your ass by you betraying me and not me killing you or you killing yourself, or I'm telling you to walk away. Let me survive. If I survive this, then yeah, you owe me. If I don't survive, then look, you're scot free.
I like that, and low-key, I hear you putting out like Assassin's Creed themes and words, and I'm like, damn, I think he's either fucking with me or he's just really saying it without saying it. But nonetheless, that is a very interesting concept. I like that. You owe me one, because like you said, if he has to find another broker, right, and then trust is earned, and that takes time. You can't just get that overnight. That at anime when it has 12 episodes, you're gonna make another new broker in an episode. That's too much. So I like that whole concept. That's cool. I can see why you put that as your number one.
Look, I'm not saying you gotta watch it because it has Assassin's Creed. Am I doing it on purpose?
No, I'll be straight with you. I'm not watching that.
Am I doing it on purpose? Maybe to convince you? Look, hey, right now on AniList, it's rated. It's a 66% as a mean score, and it has a 65% as an average score, and popularity is 22,000 out of 22,005. On the favorites, it's 427, so it's kind of high. A lot of producers, a lot of studios, but it seems like it's loved by people.
Look, and I'm not trying to make this dirty or whatever. It's a 6.9 out of 10 on my anime list. Shout out to my anime list. I know he does the other one, but I gotta shout the other one.
Which I would say both scores is 69, a 6.9, and a 66. Out of 100 and out of 10, I feel like that's an average score. That's literally, if you want to call it to your word, mid. If you want to see it mid, average, that's literally, hey, means it's not bad. It has its good, not perfect animation, a little slow, but it's building a lot of story, a lot character wise. So far, to me, that aspect is good. It's entertaining me. I like the little assassin. I like when I see my characters like Shikamaru that are smart strategists. But he's not lazy. He's very ambitious. He would literally gunshot you in the head and not fucks given, or literally tell you, let's negotiate while I have a gun pointed at you at the same time. Like to me, you got huevas right there, my G. Like, you got the cojones.
No, and honestly, I'm hoping that it comes back to be episode 1 again next week, because I'm curious to know. What is he gonna do next episode? Is he,
so
hold
I'm
to his
curious
word
about
and
it.
one?
I'm curious about it too, because right now, the end of the episode is the slave that he fought, just got traded to the mafia boss. So now he is owned to the mafia boss. So he just upgraded from a regular type of bandaged clothes on him to now having a whole suit and armor like a samurai. And his style of sword fighting is longsword style. So he has a long sword versus the MC who's a talker, who's a gunslinger. And at the end of the episode, he tried to use stun as the phrase, and he broke out of the stun, the long swordsman. So at the end of the episode, it just ended with the MC falling through a crack of the building, and then it just ended off like that. And I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. I hope it's number one next week because I want to know how that goes down.
But my villainous goes down in history, ended off in a good cliffhanger as well. So I'm curious to see where episode 1 and 2 next week will be, because right now Talker did good. Episode 6, like, again, guys, it's not a solid, not perfect anime. And look, when it comes to Crash and myself, we had different takes of what we look into when it comes to our episode week, of what we resonate, the story, the character. And for me, at times, I like what the MC does. I like to see what the strategy, the mindset that does the character. The anime could be the anime could still be a 7 or 8 out of 10 and still be top 1 when I have other animes that are still a 9 out of 10 animation story narrative. It's just more, build up. Like, for example, Dragon Ball Daima. I'll give that anime an 8.5 out of 10. But right now, for the past 5 episodes, it's more build up and story and lore. Is that bad thing? Hell no. But Dragon Ball Daima is one anime I would tell right now anybody, for 5 episodes only, you could binge it instead of watching it weekly. But right now, still watching it weekly, still entertaining. I'm not against that. But my top one being a 7.0 out of 10 or a good 70 out of 10, to me, that's still, a 70 out of 100. Still good anime to have as top 1 of episode of the week. Can't wait to see episode 7 of the most notorious talker runs the world greatest clan. So I'm excited for this. Curious to see where the next 6 weeks hold and where the story will build up, honestly. And if I do convince you to watch it, I will be very happy that I convinced you to watch a... What's the category of this anime? Let me see. It
is fantasy.
Magic, fantasy, and swordplay. So yeah, genres: action, adventure, comedy, fantasy, and... that's a huge reason why I like it. It has a genre of psychological. Yeah.
Okay.
I do love my psychological anime, and I do give them high remarks, even though a lot of people don't like them. So you will see throughout the next years of Off Da Binge that why my type of psychological anime are my favorites. Because if this is because of that reason, makes sense. Now I realize why this anime has high regards on my end.
Shout out to Classroom the Elite. That's one of my only other psychological animes that I do love. If you know, you know. That man is playing 4D chess, and I do want to shout out them also as well because the light novel of the, I think, what was it? One of the arcs is ending. I don't know if it's like completely done the whole thing or not, but it is ending very soon. I believe the end of November. So shout out to them. Can't wait for season 4.
Perfect. So you cannot wait for season 4. So that's my episode of the week. What's up, Jokester? By the way, quick shout out to the chat. I saw Jokester. I saw a guy named Legendary Vash, aka that was me. I saw a person named Fathom 234 and Chaotic Plus, so I appreciate it. Jokester said, Ayono Koji's the GOAT?
Ayono Kochi.
Yeah, Ayono Koji is the GOAT. I think that's a reference to what you were talking about. That's most likely from Classroom Elite. I'm like, I don't know that anime, so I cannot help in this reference.
Oh my god, they're gonna kill me because I don't remember. Fuck. And I hope it is. No, Ayono Koshi. Let's.
But by the way, so chat. Also, quick thing. The reason I also have this this background behind me is this is the Prince. The Prince from the Villainous goes down in history. He was great. This man should be your number 1 of the fall season anime of male protagonists of good-looking dudes, and that should be your boyfriend or husband or your husbando for sure. He should be the man. He gave no fucks of anybody else. He protected his woman. His woman almost got killed, and she defended herself, and everyone was like, you shouldn't kill. He said, my woman did what she did, and he put the ice in front of everyone. So I love it.
I know what he meant. Koshi is the main character, the MC. I'm like, I'm writing it down. Wait, it sounds so familiar. I'm sorry that I was so stupid. I'm like, that sounds so familiar. What? It is Cluster Elite. Oh, yeah. He has a long name, and I'm gonna...
Well, guess what Jokester said is the MC from Classroom Elite. He's a teenage Batman, and he says, Crash, how dare you? So, yeah, he felt hurt.
I'm not going to remember that long-ass name, but he is the biggest big brand guy of all time. Like, that man, and he's the Riz Lord. He's got so many girls trying to get with him. I know that for a fact. Stop playing with my boy. I cannot wait I cannot wait for the next season because I know now the father's involved, low key behind the scenes. He's gonna try to get him out of school. I want to know if there's gonna be another girl trying to get into the mix. They're gonna be with him.
Yeah, Castle of the Elite. I've seen this anime before. Yes, yes.
This
I'm not
very
seen
good
it.
psychological anime.
I'm not seen it. I have seen
course you
it
haven't.
on the timeline and everything, but not have watched it. Wives. Wow, it has a lot of tags. What's the genre right here? It says.
Shout out to Sakura. If you know, you know.
Okay, it has psychological philosophy, coming of age, school. It's a Sooner Day as well. And it says in
Yeah,
it.
there's a Tsundere. Yeah, there's a Tsundere.
Is
He
it a
did.
female harem? It's a
There
female
is.
harem.
It's not like it's not shown, but like you kind of like see it, like around. Like there are girls who like him, like who want to be with him. But there is a main right now, and I don't want to spoil anything since you haven't watched it. But a confession was made at the end of season 3, so shit's getting real with the love interest. But he's using it to his advantage in a way. Which again, I'm not gonna say, but if you love psychological, Vash, this is the one. Drop. Fuck high school. Nah, I can't say High School of the Dead because finish High School of the Dead first, then watch Classroom of the Elite, then watch One Piece, and then watch everything else you need to watch.
Oh, what is 4 seasons of the High School Class of the Elite? There's 4 seasons. The 4th one hasn't aired yet. Oh wow, there's 3 seasons so far.
Yeah, 3 seasons right now. The 4th is potentially gonna come out hopefully next year. We don't know yet, but whenever it does, that my boy gonna go ham. And I'm sorry, Jokester, I'm not gonna try to pronounce his name because I know it's a long ass name. It is.
Of course,
Ayunokoki.
Jokester have not watched season 3. He said, wait, I haven't watched season 3 yet." Of course you haven't. I'm not shocked you haven't. From knowing,
You can't say nothing to me then.
from knowing that you haven't watched a season of an anime that hasn't come out yet or has come out, you forgot it. But don't worry.
I don't want anybody.
It came out this
I don't want
year.
anybody telling me.
The season 3 did come out this year, so
Yeah.
you're not too late. It came out in the winter, so past January to March. So no worries, you're not too late. It didn't come out last year, so you're still good. So yeah, season 3 just aired recently. So good to know. I would definitely, you know what? I didn't do it, but I would add Castle of the Elite on the list. I will add it to the list right now, live on air. Plan to watch an anime list. If anybody wants to follow me on AniList, go follow me on Legendary Vash everywhere else on all social media. So if you want to see what I'm watching or what I'm reading, you will see all that there. Plan to watch. I put all season 1, 2, and 3. All plan to watch. When will
I'm
Vash
telling
watch
you.
it? Who the fuck knows? But the girls look adorable. I see like 5 girls. I see a blonde, a black, a pink, a white, a blue. Damn, damn, they got all the color spectrum. No green yet.
You sleeping on the teacher right now? She is a goddess. And boys, chat. If you know what the fuck I'm talking about, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. This lady goes hard. I hope she becomes some kind of love interest. We know it's not, but I would love to see it because god damn, if you know, she's definitely waifu material. But again, I'm not gonna spoil nothing. Just give it a chance. All I can say at this point.
Love it. So without further ado, our last topic of the night, it will be the Fall Anime 2024 Anime Ranking, our personal list, and then the review of Dandadan at the end. So we will wrap up the show. So without further ado, this is the Fall 24 Anime Ranking, a public list of week 6 that's out there right now. So chat, we're gonna give a quick, rundown of if we agree, disagree, and then we will review our quick back and forth of top 12, top 8, top 6 of anime ranking of this week, and then check out the Dandadan review down below in the description. All the time codes are. But we have our top 10 anime of the week of week 6, which is November 1st to November 8th. And Bleach, Blue Box,
Out there.
and ReZero are number 3 as top 3. I have not seen Blue Box. Crash already gave his Blue Box review, and ReZero I'm not watching, but Crash keeps probably spoiling himself online as usual. Is that true, Crash? Are you still spoiling yourself for ReZero season 3? Very disappointed in you. Very disappointed. Why you keep doing that to yourself? I feel like that's a personal type of torture you do.
You know what? Certain things you can't hide from, and Rizzo unfortunately is one of them. So
What you
I
mean you
will.
can't hide? I've been hiding from that for the past like 10 years. I've not seen a single spoiler. I unfollowed that thread you made. Like, not seeing that thread, ignore that thread. Not seeing no notification from that, ignore.
I will say all I know is it's getting interesting. There is a fight happening with a certain character, and that's it. Blue Box, 100% agree with for rank two. Definitely agree. It was all Hina right there. She carried that episode so hard. Went up one ranking from last week from rank three to rank two. But Bleach still top tier. There are two characters that came out of the blue now into the mix. I'm not gonna spoil on who, but that is the reason why it is number one right now. Definitely shout out to Bleach. Um, Now we gotta speak on rank four. You already know what to say. Dun dun
Look,
dun.
so number 4 and 5 to finish number top 5 is 4 is Danadan and 5 is tied with a knot with an Amagami sister. So for number 4, I want to save my thoughts for the review portion, but I would say I feel like that's a good placement still. It didn't move from there for number 4, and it still gave a good episode. And I like it when animes give, for example, to understand, when it comes to stories, in my world right now, as Legendary Vash, as my persona online, or as Miguel Parra outside of it, in my own world, I'm the MC. I am my main character. Other people are my side characters or my protagonists with me. But then in other world, for example, Crash, he has his side story. Right now, after we're done streaming, he's going to go to his own world, continue along his day with his wife, and do his own thing. So I like how when animes give the different side stories or in perspective of other characters that we don't know about. And then that's how we introduce, like we met this character in episode 4. And then we find out her version, her story of what's going through on, of what she did the past 12 hours and why she did what she did and how she felt from episode 3 because the bitch wanted to do this. So I really love that in that aspect when it comes to storytelling in animes. But what you think of 4 and 5?
I think the ranking of four is fine. Maybe I would. Yeah, no, I'd leave four the way it is. Tying the knot with an Amagapi sister. Me personally, maybe one more rank lower. I didn't think it was anything too crazy besides the kiss question, and I say that loosely.
Oh,
I say that
interesting.
loosely.
Interesting. I'll
Um,
find out soon.
100%. Rank six. You wanna speak on Blue Lock?
What do you want to give? Since I said 1 through 5, why don't you give 6 to 10? 6 through 10, and then we can give our synopsis on them and quick takes.
Okay. So Blue Lock season two. I think I'll speak for you. I'll speak for me. Fuck Blue Lock right now. I'm not really in the mood to watch it. I'll leave it the way it is. It went down one ranking. Cool, whatever. Don't care for it. Now, rank seven. Sierra Chronicles. Again, sorry, Spirit Chronicles. Excuse me. I'm not
Paul, are
watching it.
you
I know
watching this? I gotta ask a
No, I'm
question.
not.
No, I'm saying Paul
So,
on stream. If you stay here, are you watching this? And two, I have not started it. I need to
ooh.
rewatch season 1, episode 12, because I need to remember what happened. Since even though I did binge this earlier this year, but life has been lifing, so I don't remember every single animes I've seen. So I need to just refresh my memory. But I have not seen episode 7. Sorry, I've not seen season 2 yet or episode 6. 1 through 6 yet. So I cannot touch on this. But I'm happy that it jumped from 17 ranking to number 10. I mean to number 7. So that's pretty cool. So it seems like they had a good fighting episode from what I see from the list that they used a thumbnail. It looked like he was probably in a fighting episode.
No, yeah, I'm assuming something went down. That's why it went higher in the rankings. I do know it's top 20 in general, but for its ranking right now, it's not bad. I did mention Rash to try to convince you to try to watch it. I did say yes. Unfortunately, I'll have to say here now that I'm probably not going to because I started watching Yakuza Fiance. And something like this is not really intriguing me at the moment, despite it being on top 10 this week. I'm just not gonna give it a chance. I apologize. I hope Vash does catch up to it. Secondly, he can tell me a little bit more about it, so he can convince me to watch it. But for the moment, it's gonna be a pass. For the sake of argument, at least two, we will agree with the ranking for rank seven. If there was something cool going down, hope to hear more about it. Upcoming in the upcoming week. But that was rank seven. So now rank 8 is Damachi season 5. Episode 6 was crazy. Bell is still like trying to like get over the idea like he's still with the Freya Familia. We see how they fight, how they train. They literally fight to the death with each other, and the healers heal them to then go back to fight to the death again. He did that pretty much all day. And when he's in pretty much like done fighting, he goes cleans up and then goes to Freya's room personally. Nobody likes that, but Freya wants to get closer to the Bell by being herself the goddess. We see the receptionist from the guild. I always forget her name, Miss something. She starts to remember, her feelings for Bell and everything. And Horn picks up on that. Long story short, she finds a diary of the guild receptionist. She starts reading it, so now she knows a little more about Bell. So when Bill's questioning about his previous life to her, she's answering his questions through the book that she read through the guild receptionist. So now he's like, oh, maybe it is a curse. Maybe I really, I'm overthinking everything. Maybe I really am with the Freya Familia. And then, as, waifus always do, my girl Freya doing a little like, let me show you a little more skin here. How about you take off my top down? Let me, watch maybe fall for the traps. And my boy was so close. You don't understand, Vash. He was one button in, and he was like, oh, no, I can't. And right away, and she starts laughing her ass off like a crazy yandere on the bed. And then you see Horn coming in, to the side like, oh, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I have your, pajamas to sleep. And she's like, oh, no. He touched my clothes. He liked what I was wearing. I'll wear this to sleep. You're going to wear a whole dress to sleep, lady? All right, you must be that crazy. Do you? Heels and everything? Back. Look, if that's what you want, that's what you want. And it just goes to show, like, even wearing the sexiest outfit for your boy Bell, which, by the way, he is such a lucky motherfucker, because no MC got it good like that, where a goddess is wearing the whole fit. The dress showing borderline boobies, showing the whole heels and everything. He don't got nothing like that. But even that was enough to sway him to fall for Freya's traps. And now you see her going a little bit more demented, going a little more crazy. So I'm curious to see what is in store next for her to try to make Belle fall for the traps. That's number 8 on the ranking. I wish it was a little more higher. We do see her also being demented and making Belle realize that he's not with the his sister's familia, but maybe it might increase next week. Rank 9, Demon Lord 2099. You said you're not up to date, unfortunately, with none of your anime.
I'm not up to date with since episode 2, so I'm behind on 3 because right now it's episode 2, 3, 4, and 5 that I'm not seeing.
So
but still the top 10 ranking, so it shows that it's been consistent story-wise in the action or in the lore, so it's been keeping people entertained for the past couple weeks, so that's good on my book.
No, yeah, I mean, only one ranking down, that still means it's interesting, something's going on in the story, so I don't think that's a bad thing, so that's good. Rank 10, I do believe I had to bring a little bit more of information for you because I don't think you're not watching the anime itself.
Right before you continue on with that, what do you want to move in to talk about our top 10, since that's number 10 and that is in your anime list? So what do you want to save that for your review portion of your list of your rundown, or want to express that now?
I'll express it now. I'll make it very quick. It's very simple. So the ranking 10, the reason it got so much higher, more or less, is just because we found out that Arya's father is alive. He's not dead. All this time, we were thinking like that he might have committed suicide, or he might have passed away in some crazy accident, like maybe Truck-kun probably killed him. But no, it's not like that. He is alive. It was a misunderstanding. And the creator, Arya's father, actually is the creator of the anime, of the manga that everybody pretty much in the manga club loves. And that is pretty much Leo. So it's crazy to find out, like, hey, it's a small world, like, her father made the iconic waifu that I love. He's the reason why I love 2D girls. Like, that's my boy. I gotta give my dad. So Arya's father is, not with Arya, with the family. The parents are divorced. So Arya's plan for becoming a cosplayer is so that way she can show her father that no matter what, she loves his manga, his work. She's not embarrassed. She doesn't care if people bully her. She wants to show her appreciation, love for the work that her father put down for this anime. And now the crew agrees with that. So now they're creating cosplays of Leo and the other characters that are in the anime to cosplay that in a convention, Summer Comiket, that is happening right now. That just happened this episode 19. which I'm not gonna spoil on, but that's pretty much the gist of why I got so higher. I don't expect 2.5 Dimensional Seduction to get back up in week 7. I plan it to go down because that episode, I am up to date. I did see it ahead of time. It it did not show us anything crazy, just some funny scenes, and that is it. So I plan to mention that probably on the honorable mentions next week. I will be surprised if it stays on top 10. I don't think it will, though. I think more better episodes are coming out with more crazier scenes. But I'll be surprised, honestly, if it does stay a top 10 next week.
Love to hear that. It seems like some good top 10 lists that we have so far for the top 10 anime rankings. I want to give an honorable mention for the things that we are watching. Alpharetta is ranked number 12. Move did 1 rank since last week. What's funny, Orb on the Movement is currently on rank number 13. I was actually going to check that out on Netflix, but I just didn't get the time to it. I was interested. I was reading the bio synopsis. It got me interested. I just didn't find the time for it, so I was gonna look. You Are My Servant, the one that we're watching, has moved to rank 14, so that's pretty cool. I Become a Villainess has moved to rank 18 instead of 20, so I'm glad people are watching. And then Shangri-La Frontier is ranked number 19, so not it's really shocking to know that's not being hyped right now for a lot of people. Probably a lot of people forgot about it, or it's not that being promoted. Okay, that's something I'm pretty shocked that a few of my friends that was big on season 1 has not watching season 2. I'm not watching myself, but it's because of time. And Dragon Ball Daima is right now ranked 20th right now, so. But again, I'm gonna jump into it when we jump down to a rundown. But other than that, you have any thoughts on the honorable mention, or you're good?
More or less, I expected Orb to go down. It went down 7 ranks. It is now ranked, like you said, ranked 13th. I am not surprised. Like I said, it only had that 1 episode. It had something interesting going, and it went back down. That means it was boring. Nothing happened. Maybe a filler episode. I'm not surprised about that. Besides that, Shangri-La Frontier, like you said, it's very similar, like pretty much with Sword Art Online, Gongeo.
Yeah.
Season 2. It's not really spoken about a lot. I know people are watching it, but not a lot of things are being said. So I don't know if it's just like there's nothing interesting going on with the story, or if it's just like one of those things where it's just like it's waiting to it to get better. Maybe we might see that go up in one of these weeks. The fact that it's week 6 and it's not even up at this point, either so it's one of two things. If it's not up by week 9, it's not a good season overall, which is not good at all. It could be a variety of reasons. Or it might be straight up, like I said, like you said, it might be advertisement. They're not advertising it a lot, and I would assume it because they have a lot of other projects that they're focusing more on. That's more important. That they feel like they can get more better audience, more money coming from that. So I can get that. I can get around that idea, but we really won't know until towards the end of the season, like how it goes. But fingers crossed. We hope it goes to the rank, top 10 ranking. If it doesn't, it just goes to show that it wasn't given a lot of love, as Vash said, and it's a shame.
But hey, you don't care about what other people say. You care about what we say. Because we're in week 6 of the fall 2024 anime season. And things are heating up. Let's highlight our top picks of this week. Most standout episodes. So what's our episode of the week when it comes to the weekly top 10 anime ranking for Vash himself? So, Chad, I want to ask you, what is your top 10 anime ranking? What's your favorite so far? What's the episode that has been hitting for you? Because for myself, I'll tell you this, done. I'm cut up. We're going to talk about this. But it's my number 3 of the week. And then, like I said, my number 1 was the most notorious talker runs into the world greatest clan. And then number 2 was definitely where's the long ass name? I Become a Villainess, who goes down in history. That one I'm cut up. And it's been great. Like I said, our character from last week got kidnapped. She did her thing. The people tried to kill her, but then she had to defend herself. And like any type of survival, it's survival of the fittest. If you don't kill them, they kill you. That's the end of the day. It sucks, but when you come to that point in that mentality, unless you can find a way where both parties could survive, then that's the third option. And if you can get it done, awesome. If you can't, then survive, motherfucker. Shit. Because that's what our girl did. She survived, and she was about to murder the dude that almost got her. And then the hero from this video game, from this world, she said, nah, you're not gonna do that. I'm like, bitch, I just got captured, I just got tortured, and my guy who I pick out from the village and town, who's supposed to be under me and my protection, he got beat up, leg broken, and everything. And you're telling me that I can't? And the beautiful thing, as this image on the screen, guys, the prince protected and gave the most beautiful protection speech and said, nah, she did what she did and she gotta do what she gotta do. And the villain, she said, if I gotta do it all over again, I'll get it done all over again. No hesitation. So that spur some type of troubling in paradise. So I'm really curious to see where the next episode leads to. Dragon Ball Diamond, like I said, story-wise, lore, beautiful. I love it. We find out more about the demon world, and it seems like there's only one demon world, and there's other universes like universe 7, universe 6, but they're all connected into one demon world. So that's the interesting thing about finding about that, about Namek and the other stuff in the Dragon Ball world. So if it is still canon, because it gets fucking confusing when it comes to Dragon Ball, what's canon or not. But if this is, it makes a lot more explanation when we find out about the Kai saying Universe 7 is where you find the Vegeta characters and everything else. So that was very helpful to have the little story bits of the lore. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna save my Afuerta thoughts because I know Crash also did watch it, so I know me and him could speak about it. Goodbye Dragon Life, go watch it if you want to see elves, a snake character. I think they're called Lamia. I believe Lamia. Hopefully not pronouncing it wrong. We have a dragon that is not a dragon. He's a dragon soul, but it's a human that has a dragon power because he got reincarnated because he was told not to. He needs to still do more in the human world, which is like, okay, cool. We find some gods of people putting them into more problems. But the episode was good because we find out there is going to be demons here, and somehow in story lore, there's the demons are always the bad guy. So in this one, the demons are the bad guys. And I like where he's going to be going. Other than that, what else can I add? Human Servant, pretty good episode. Like we mentioned earlier, we had a conversation. As I reincarnated as aristocrat, I will use my appraisal skill into Rise in the World, Season 2, Episode 5. I couldn't catch up to episode 6 because episode X6 did air today on this Sunday of the live stream, so I couldn't catch up to it because episode 6 was airing, and then your boy Vash here took a nap by accident, so I couldn't catch up to episode 6. So when it happens with this episode 5 though, I really did like it because our MC, he accomplished his goal of winning his first battle, and it got praised around. And I'm gonna just say this, I love it when the lords or of any animes, live action shows, anything, when you are a lord or prince and everything, and then you get told what you're doing for your people is wrong, because you know sometimes you gotta fight for your land, and sometimes you choose to either die for your land, but then your people are the ones that gets fucked because now the people that is supposed to be the ruler, you'd get killed because you'd rather die for your pride or die as a warrior on the battlefield. But then I love how the MC won his first battle. He took the kingdom or the first base, thanks to him and everything. And the Lord was ready to die. Both the daughter and the king, and they was ready to die. But then the main character, let me get his name correctly. Ars. His name, Ars, the current lord, and they won the first battle because of him. He got to convince the Lord, you shouldn't die for your people. You should live for your people. You should protect them. You should fight for them if you want them to better. You may have lost the battle, but I don't mean you should die for the battle that got lost already. Instead, continue living. Let's wait until this war happens. Then let's negotiate and become good allies for one another, and how we can make our nation a better place. And that's the right type of mindset you should be as a lord, and I appreciate hearing that, because as a warrior, if you have read books of Valhalla or books of North mythology, you should know that to die as a warrior on the battlefield is the best and greatest way of death. But when the warrior talks about being betrayed or not dying on the battlefield, they don't want to die because that's the worst kind of death. That's you're betraying their type of belief. They'd rather die in the battlefield. They'd rather fight than get killed or betrayed or get stabbed in the back. That's something that's more of a betrayal for them. So I really love that anthology or type of metaphor that ours told the other lords, saying like, hey, you should live for your people instead of dying. So I really appreciated that. So those are my top animes of the week. Like I said, it's really hard to have a ranking for them, but I'd rather just shout them out. The animes I'm watching, Tower God, I'm still behind on. Blue Box, I'm still behind on. The Demon Lord 29, I'm behind on. So other than that, I will save my thoughts for Alpharetta and Danadan, so me and Crash could talk about it. So Crash, what's your anime of the week? What's your top anime rank of the week? Like, quick shout out to them. Talk to me.
So I was able to rank mine. I have a lot to add now that I was watching a lot more things this week. So first episode, first ranking is gonna be Blue Box automatically. It was a great episode. Hina really stole the show from everybody. I do recommend that anime to anyone. Give it a try. I was gonna skip it, and I don't even like sports anime, but I had to admit that kind of romance and that kind of anime with sports definitely is recommended. So that's Blue Box. My second ranking for the week is gonna be Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon season 5. Again, that whole scene, like you see now what's going on with the Freya family. You see Freya working in the shadows, still trying to manipulate Belle to try to convince him to join her familia, or like to fall in love with her. It was a little messed up. I'm seeing her slowly break out of her shell and see more of the persona that's really her in the inside. I'm really curious to know what she has planned next for him next episode. That was my takeaway from that. My third ranking now is Your Miss Servant for episode 5, not for episode 6. So I going into the episode, we're seeing this, girl assassin that was in the previous episode, like I was saying, the week before. So now she's trying to kill Yuki, and the reason why is because, she wants to get money from her bounty because she's one of the top 7 assassins in the world, so that way she can go on vacation and sleep with a bunch of men. Cool, it's whatever you want, girl, like, do you. But the biggest thing that, threw me off, the biggest thing was that I knew Yuki was an assassin. We were given that information from the beginning. What I didn't know was what kind of assassin she was, and I didn't even think twice, to actually consider that she could be anything more than something else. And they're really going deep into this idea of an assassin, really, because now it's like, oh, she's not just any assassin. She's a Chinese assassin. Because the voice actress starts talking to, the other girl in Chinese. And that threw me off so hard. And the way she said it, it's like stone cold, like, don't fuck with me or else you're going to get the smoke. I start screaming.
Yo, I love
because,
that
in the Assassin's Creed universe.
I love that line. She said, hey, if you fight with me right now, you're going to get the smoke. So I'm like, oh, you wilding. And she said, you fight me, but you're going to die. So you can either choose death or live and walk away.
I was screaming so hard because in the Assassin's Creed universe, I'm gonna speak for the video game. There's only 1 or 2 Chinese assassins out there, so you don't really know a lot of the lore that's going on with that. So to see like you've heard of Japanese assassins, maybe you might have heard any type of assassins in the world, but it was nice to see like with the wording and phrasing I am him, I am her, like don't fuck with me, you don't want that smoke. I felt that in my heart. I was like, I love that. And to, go on to the next scene where, they're fighting each other, and to learn, like, Yuki specifically, could have killed this girl at any point in time, because that's how good of an assassin she is. But she wanted to see pretty much, her intentions, her way, like, what could be. Because she ultimately is trying to get away from that life. And as it has been said before, no matter how far you run, you can never escape your past. That's what her mentor is also saying. It's a hard life we live as assassins, but it is a life we did not choose. It is a life we had to suffer for the greatness of this whole little secret community that we have. So that was my third. I honestly believe it deserved it, even though it's not really a well-known anime and a lot of people speaking about it. I do see the memes, pictures. I personally think it was my top 3 for this week. Going on to that is for is Dan Da Dan. I'm gonna wait again until the very end of the episode where we speak on the whole thing, because me personally, it was a good episode, but it wasn't anything special, and that's the best I'll say for that. I hope you agree with me, Vash. Um, for rank 5 is tying the knot with Amagami's sister. Again, I'm not gonna try to spoil anything, but in the episode before, really quickly, the oldest sister kisses the MC on the cheek. So now the girls, the rest of the sisters, like, oh, what the fuck? Like, what was that all about? So, they're trying to one up the sister. They're trying to say, since potentially there is marriage involved between the three of them. If there's feelings and everything. So we get two perspectives. The first perspective, the first half of the episode is going to be with the young sister. And long story short, we see a touching scene literally happening, and it was touching. We see maybe feelings be developed. Who knows? But it was a touching scene nonetheless. And the MC on the second half is dealing with, the tsundere sister, the middle sister. The crazy thing about the middle sister, the whole episode, is that he gets a dream from the future where he sees certain events unfolding with, the mother string in the middle of the whole scene. So it's a big, foreshadowing type of, episode. We see, the rest of the episode go forward. And then we see at the very end that same scene from the dream happening again. Only this time, before something unexpected, maybe a kiss, happen, he blocks the mouth from being kissed. Which was crazy to me. I didn't expect that to happen. I thought that was really wild. I was like, okay, my boy had that reflex. He didn't let the dream come true. But what instead had happened is now we see that the middle girl has feelings. She has these demons, you could say, these unrecreated feelings that are not good. They're not healthy. I forgot the word that she said it in the anime, but she's trying to get rid of them. And how she gets rid of them? With salt. So he's thinking in his head, the MC, oh, she's gonna throw salt at me, thinking like I'm unpure, bad, whatever, unjust. Pretty much she's throwing the salt by saying like, get these horny genies away from me. I don't want to think of this man, but I'm still thinking about this man. Yeah, so that's pretty much she's throwing the salt for.
I believe they did that in the first episode 1 that I watched too, that they kept throwing salt because this man has the worst luck, that he kept just appearing at the bad time in the bathroom, in the closet, and then coming into his room. So like they just kept throwing salt at him, that he's just a horny man.
Yeah, so the same concept, but now it's not for him. And he didn't get thrown salt out this time. It's for her. It's like, please, I got the horny D's now. Get this feeling away from me. So there are feelings that are being shown that are blooming. But how will these three sisters make these feelings work? Next episode will be very interesting because now we have a new girl coming into the mix. So stay tuned for that. I'm really curious to see how that's going to go down. That is number 5 on my ranking. Number 6 is Afuera from Commonplace, The World's Strongest Season 3. Honestly, I'm actually on the opposite side of Vash. I don't have much to say about the whole episode.
I was gonna say, if you want, we could give that a quick synopsis or thoughts real quick right before we jump into Danadon. So like a quick anime spotlight, quick little 3-minute coverage, and then we just jump into our Danadon and then just end the show there.
Okay, so let me just finish the last 3 and we start with Afuera and then Danadon. Yeah. Okay, so then going down to rank 7, Yakuza Fiance again. We got the cousin who's coming into the mix, visiting, Yoshina for the first time and meeting the boyfriend, the fiance. So, long story short, making it very simple, the cousin's not who she says he is. He's very similar to the guy, the Yakuza guy. And we reveal that we find out what happens with her kidney that was sold in episode 1.
Oh,
the cousin knows something about that. I'm not gonna say anything else. All I'm going to say is she is not what she seems, but she is on the side of helping her cousin. Be very attentive to what they're saying because they have a lot of things to say about past things that have happened in previous episodes. And she is really messed up for giving that guy a photo of Yoshino when she was in her bikini. But in retrospect, she gets a photo of her crush when he was younger, and only the Yakuza guy has 6 photos, if I remember correctly, or 8. I think it was 6 photos. 6 or 7 photos of when he was younger, and they're the only photos to exist. So only he has them. So the fact that he gave those up to the cousin says a lot about how he feels towards said character. I'm not gonna speak on that. Just watch it, and I promise you won't be disappointed. Um, but Yakuza Fiance is getting good. I'm actually happy that it's intriguing me for the most part. Rank number 8 is MF Ghost. So going back to what I said last episode, again, the guy with the Lamborghini, he got hit. You know, damn shame, but he is okay. Thank God, he is out of the race. So now we're seeing three things happening at the same time in the race. We see the two front runners right now, the French guy and the German guy, Beckman. They're going neck to neck trying to get first place. Right now, the French guy's holding the lead, not the German guy. In the second group, the second part, we have 5 if I'm not mistaken, trying to get into the lead of third place. And we see my boy, the MC, pulling out all the stops to try to get to third place. And then at the back of the way, we got the two twins, the boy and the girl. Again, I'm really terrible with the names. I'm very sorry, but I'm trying to make it as best easy for everybody. The two twins. The brother actually starts spinning out of control, but thank God he got his balance. Meanwhile, the sister, the other twin, was able to get a lead up, one more ranking up in the race. So she's doing a lot better than the brother, despite them not working together to try to get in the middle. And that's pretty much it for now. We're seeing the race getting a lot more deadlier. We're getting a lot more rain. We're seeing the cars work in different ways to get traction and drift. But the MCs is pulling the exact same stops. He's working his ass off to show everybody that his car, even though it's underperforming, can still perform in whatever type of weather possible. Next episode, which is the episode that released today, we're going to see more of the race. I believe we're getting to the point now where they're getting to a part of the race where it's getting really dangerous, where people can potentially get to more accidents. So it's down to see if Beckner, the German guy, is going to get back into first place. The MC is going to potentially get out of there and try to get closer to third place. And where the other character is going to try to perform better, despite them not doing their best in the rain, in that situation where the weather is really bad, to try to get ahead of the race. And finally, 2.5 Dimensional Seduction for my rank number 9. Last one. It was a good episode.
Wait, about to say, you mentioned your thoughts earlier already about that.
Yeah, there's not much to say. That was for the previous one for week 5. I'm sorry, for week 6. This one is a little more ahead for week 7. Like I said, I'm ahead of that. I'm not gonna spoil too much about it, but we're now seeing everyone at the convention. We're gonna see now how they perform and how the conventions they were differently is different from this big one. Like it's like going to like a really small convention. And then you're going to Anime Expo for the first time in your life. It's a completely different ball game, completely different cosplayers. There's a lot of competition, and they have a lot of work to do if they're going to try to convince a lot of people to like look at them and try to get Arya's father's attention.
Okay. So I feel like that's a good top 9 anime ranking that you have there. I feel like that's not bad of a list to express and enjoy. So without further ado, guys, if you're here for the last portion, the 5th segment of the anime spotlight is what I'm gonna call it from now on. I just came up with it on the spot. If I find a better one, because that's technically from Anime Lately podcast, it's called Animation Spotlight. I just took out the animation genre anime. So that's a little cheat code, but hey, it still works for what we'll be discussing, chat. So if you're here for the anime discussion for Afreta from a Commonplace to a World's Strongest Season 3 Episode 6, here we go. I would say this was a good way to murder almost a kingdom king, and also to get what you want to abolish slavery. I feel like if you want the fastest way of how to abolish slavery and to understand and tell people we give no fucks, don't mess with us, we will murder you anytime now, we got the skills for it, this is the time. So this is what this episode felt like. I don't want to give too much spoilers if anybody haven't seen it, the anime itself, or say it what it was exactly in details. But the rabbits got hands.
I think that's an understatement. This episode, we really see how much they really want to make this plan go through, and it was executed perfectly. I don't think there was nothing to really say about that besides like it was what I expected. I was expecting exactly that and nothing else. I'm just glad it went the way it did.
It's kind of like how I actually last week, like, how are they gonna get into the executing the plan? And they did exactly what they did. The one thing I didn't expect that they murder the next heir
No, no, I'm glad that they did. Fuck him. He got what
No,
was
of
coming
course,
to him.
fuck him, for sure. I just didn't expect that was so. Hey, you do this, and now your son dies. Okay, I'm not gonna do it. Your son murdered. I'm like, oh no, like no second question of if, just straight murder. Okay, cool.
So me personally, when that happened, my first thought was, fuck, he's dead. That could just literally, that just alone could start a war. The Emperor could be like, what the fuck you do? And then just like literally, all right, we're going to war with you type shit. But surprisingly, he was very like cold and fine with the reality that his son died.
He probably didn't like his son. His son was probably like he probably knew his son was a scumbag.
For sure, for sure. But you, like, as all emperors, as all kings know, when certain situations like that happen, you could take advantage of the situation. I assume, based on the position of where he was and how everything was going, he saw that there was no way to win in that situation. Even if someone were to win, he was powerless, and that was the whole point of the Bunnymen trying to show their strength to him. That we're not pussies. We're not these little people that you can just step on and enslave. No, we got like that. We are him. We are these type of guys. You don't want to smoke.
Yeah, you don't want to smoke, and he gave you the smoke. They gave you the smoke. Curious to see what next episode leads, episode 5, to know where it's going with. Are they gonna go back to the labyrinth, or are they gonna go next? Because right now we're still left with the princess and with the situation of the kingdom where they don't have a ruler now, or he is just became a little bitch to the rabbits, and now this whole type of royalty people saw that the rabbits are more than just what it is about the beast man. And by the way, a big shout out to our girl Sheena, I believe, our rabbit girl, right?
Yeah.
Shia. Shia. I love that she got her moment. She got the chance to murder the people that murdered her family and her tribe back then, and she knocked them out all the way to the moon.
The moon.
I love that. I love that. Just way, bam, straight to the moon. And I love how our main character, Hajime, gave her permission that you're not part of the crew right now. For the next 20-30 minutes, you are yourself. You're the princess of the tribe. And I love that because it just showed that you still have more than one identity. Like, your identity is Shia from the crew of Hajime and his harem, but then your other identity is that you're the princess of your tribe.
No, I'm glad Shay got her got back. Honestly, it was well deserved after all the suffering that we see her go through. Like, it's nice to know that she has strength also, not only like through herself but also through her friends that make her we make her do what she can do for her tribe as well too. You beat me to the punch, so I also want to bring another shout out, but I want to rewind it back the clock a little bit, a couple more minutes before the lights dimmed down and this whole little event went down. So.
Oh, the dancing?
Before everything went down. Yeah, so I want to talk about the dancing real quick. So my boy, my boy Jaime, right? He right. He was dancing first with Yui, and I was fine with it, right? You know, he's dancing with the girl he likes. Everyone's chilling, eating the food of the empire. Everyone's like, this shit slaps. Cool. And the princess comes along. She changed her whole outfit to what she had the previous episode. She's wearing now all black. She's saying pretty much, fuck y'all, I'm wearing the fuck I want. So she goes up to my boy and like, hey, look, let's dance real quick. And he looking at her like, you know what? I'm not feeling you. I want to dance with her, low key. And everyone's like, yo, what you doing? That's the princess. You gotta show some respect.
Can't say no to, right? They can't say no to a princess asking you to dance. That's disrespectful. But I love how he also asked her, saying, I love how he asked like, hey, question about your outfit. Is that reference to me or what's going on there? And she kind of vaguely said reference to him, but her answer was like, you know, I almost got raped, so this was my way to kind of retaliate and be like, fuck yeah.
So I'm glad she mentioned like, I know what happened, thank you, and I'm glad like he was like, yeah, no problem. But now we get to that exactly that part right after, which is kind of like, you know, so listen, you know, we're dancing, we're chilling, but if something would have happened to me, you know, if push comes to shove, like, would you be there for me? Type of, like, she's pretty much saying, like, like, I want you without saying it. Like, I want you to be there for me. And I was like, the vampire princess is right there too, right? Like, she has good hearing. I'm pretty sure Yui's just staring. I don't know if anybody's watching really. If you paid close attention to the scene, she's watching the whole dance go down. So I know she's listening in. And pretty much all he can say is like, you're crazy saying it, but like, if you need help, I'm gonna help you out, but not like that, because I got my people. And she's like, man, I really want you to say like that, because I'm starting to catch feelings. And I'm like, oh, the princess is catching feelings. More people to the harem. Let's go.
Like, the exact words from the dragon. The dragon.
Oh yeah,
girl.
A wife stealer.
The master's now a wife stealer. Yet another new kink.
Mr.
Nice.
See You Girl. Mr. See You Girl. And I'm so here for it. I'm so happy that my boy out here fucking stealing girls. I don't care if it's in the wrong, even if it's a princess or queen, whatever. I don't care. He's still doing him. He's still OG. He is a Chad. Shout out to him.
I just love it how it's not him doing it on purpose. It's also him just being the gentleman and helping out whatever Yue wants. So if Yue wants to help the princess, you would, our boy Hajime would do it. So I really appreciate the little small hints and notices as, like, he gives no fucks of whoever else. What matters for him is at the end of the day is Yue, because Yue helped him out of the rut that he was in. So what Yue says, like, hey, if you want to add her to the harem, I'm okay with it. And he'd be like, bro, it's not me. If you want her in the harem, sure. It's not really up to me. I'm just being the nice guy. But if you want to add her, then we added number 6 one, guys. Woo!
Besides that, I'm just curious to see what's gonna happen next episode.
Same.
Like you said, like if I get like a bed scene or something like that, first minute of the next episode, that might be top 3 of the episodes of the week for me. On God, I need something spicy going down, like what happened in the last episode, where Yui and Hajima were on the floor making out. I was like, that was spicy. Can you make it more spicier than that, please? And I do have to give a little shout to Kairi, because they were doing rock paper scissors with each other, like, who's gonna go dance with him next? And they were like, it's only fair we do rock paper scissors, see who goes. Oh, okay. And they're doing it in the background, rock paper scissors, and then meanwhile him and Yui are just like dancing, like, yeah, we're in love, we're chilling. So I hope.
And right after that, the princess skipped the line, and the girl's like, you can't skip the line! But wait, you're the princess, I guess that's fine. You're the person who can skip the line.
We don't want hands, but, go ahead, we're upset. So, those girls, I'm curious to see if they're gonna bring more of romance, some type of, like, intent with them going forward. Not to say that I don't want Yui. Yui is top girl in this harem. I want her and only her to be with Haima. But it's not to say there are other girls on the table, and Kaori, me personally, I do have that. She's my second best on top of this list. I hope they do something with her character in this season.
So look, we went from vampires to beastmen. We're gonna go transition into curses and ghosts and people being mad that you drop a toilet sink on top of your head, and then you want to spread rumors that you are a sex hoe. This is what this episode about. Done. Episode 5 and 6. Since we didn't review last week, we're gonna kind of mix them up. Episode 5 and 6 for this week coverage. And look, chat, I will say this: don't trust everything that you see. Wait until you get the full story and context. Don't start a rumor and then thinking that because, I'm sure anybody can relate to this, because I know I was like this. I got approached by the popular guys because I was friends with the hot girls back in high school or in regular daily lives. And then the guys would be like, yo, so what's the number for that friend of yours? Because I heard she was easy. Any guy wants to get pissed off. It made sense of our boy Ken, or, him letting them know what's up. Like, hey, don't talk to her about like that. She's nothing like that. He got into his what form?
Demon form.
Yeah,
let's call it for safety purposes. I wouldn't say spirit form. Let's call it his demon form, because when he's in his demon
curse form. When he transferred to its curse form, any guy will get upset, not turn to it like a fucking curse / demon form, no. but he got the opportunity and he didn't do it acknowledgedly, so that was really cool transition. And it's nice to see in the anime aspect that whenever we get into our curse or ghost stuff storyline lore, we turn everything red around it, so that's pretty interesting to notice as well. Our girl, where is she? Ira.
Arya?
um
Yeah.
you are a jealous ass chick that really had no hesitation. You literally just saw the wave hand of like, hey, this is a bitch. I'm a main character in my story. I need to take you out. This is the god of balls. Huevos. By the way, I noticed that me and Crash speak Spanish, so we could actually do a Spanish show. We could get our Spanish speaking audience. Will we butcher the stuff? Yes, we will. Because, you know,
100%.
100%. Because the anime stuff being translated into Spanish for us, we don't watch it in Spanish, so it'll be hard translation for us. But this chick, Ira, was carrying the golden huevas. She was carrying the golden balls around her the whole time. One of them. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, no golden balls. It was golden ball. And I can't wait for Ken or Momo to literally tell her, hey, just letting you know, Ira, you've been carrying my left nut the whole time. That's not just a regular golden ball. That's my left nut you're holding. I can't wait to see her reaction. Be like, oh, get it back from me. That's my guess.
You say that, right? But you gotta remember that, like, she was rubbing it all over Momo's face, and she's like, "You know what you're doing? Stop!" I was crying with that.
She literally was holding this all on her face. She was getting mad. She like, "Get this shit off me!" You literally carry Ken. I don't even want to say his name.
She's doing to suck my nuts in my face, and I'm just like, hey, yo, she don't know. And when she knows,
she doesn't know. She literally is saying the phrase of suck my nuts, like you said. Like, no, the wrong time. Like, it's just crazy that instead of having the nuts on him, the nuts are being spread. Like, no, you're not even feeling it. It's like, but yeah, how do you feel about episode 5 and 6? What are your overall thoughts about it? Any highlights? Anything that spoke out to you? Other than the obviously fight scenes that we're gonna end off with, but that's gonna continue off by next week. So I know we're gonna have a full conversation next week overall. But other than the fight scene, the big question of, is she really her mother? What do you think about episode 5 and 6 of the character we met of Ira and her getting to know about the powers of the sidekick and everything, and us finding out Granny Turbo is on a cat?
So again, like I was saying before, I only got 3 things to say, and I'm gonna make this very brief, very, very simple for everybody. So, the episode, to me, was a bit of filler, and I say that in a nice way. It wasn't a bad filler. It wasn't a waste of time. I generally liked it because in the first part of the episode, I want to make this like 3 parts. The first part, we're seeing pretty much Ken being bullied by these guys, trying to get Momo's number because they see him hang around her a lot. They think it's easy.
How is this filler? I'm sorry to interrupt you right away, but I really question that, because that take is interesting. Filler, when they're fucking high school. It's like in Bleach when they went to high school, when our boy Ichigo literally had to go to school because he had to attend school. Yes, he is a Soul Reaper that had to kill the Hollows. Cool. But then he had to go to high school. So how is this a filler when it's literally going along with the daily aspect of their lives?
So it's like we saw a big, fight happen right now with Turbo Granny in the previous episode and everything, right? So from that point going on to the next fight, you gotta build that up. So that's why I'm being generous by saying filler. It's not the right word, of course, but that's how I see it.
Please, Watkins, tell me in the chat if you're still here. Let us know how you feel about this, because we have Watkins in the chat hearing us right now. He said,
shit.
"Yeah, not ready." Momo knew it, and she let it happen. She knows what she wanted. She wanted it. So that's what Watkins says so far.
Oh my god, no way he said that shit.
Yeah, that's what Watkins said in the chat right now. So I love it. Really curious to see. But continue talking about your filler line, and continue, because I'm gonna continue about your filler line about episode 6.
So again, it's a build up to like the big fight that's about to happen the next episode. That's how I see it. That's how I see some animes in certain aspects, right? So cool. The first arc was pretty much Ken defending Momo, right? And her Gairu girls pretty much saying like, yeah, he defended your honor type shit. So you see her kind of like, being a little like shy, kind of like, flushing the cheeks, blushing like, oh, is she falling for his traps? Does she like what he did for him, whatever? You got that one arc right there, right? The second arc is pretty much now, with Turbo Granny, with the grandma, with the two of them, like, yo, where are my balls? Where are there so many huevos? So she, Turbo Granny's explaining the exploit, the whole plot that like, okay, I dropped them. There's somewhere where you guys, stopped me where the train was, and we see that disposition to where, Ira now found one of the balls. In that scene, we saw, the night sky and everything, the sparks. We saw that, and now we're seeing that the ball is making her act in a certain way. I don't think that's really her, because prior to that, we saw her in the previous episode her acting in a different way, acting more like a bitch. And I will say this right here now: I don't think Arya is a bad character. I don't mind her personality. I can see why a lot of people might dislike her. I do know I saw on social media that a lot of the creator was telling people on social media for that episode that came out, the one for episode 6, don't hate on Arya right now. That's the way we portrayed her to be. She will change, give it time, and I 100% agree with that. This is, again, disposition to make her in a way she's going to change that. You're going to act a certain way in the beginning, and you're going to change a whole other way with character development as the story progresses. So I think right now, the ball that she's holding is making her act and behave in a certain way that she's not really like, because she's making her friends get all like this like secret shit, like crosses, oil, whatever, to get to stop Momo because she thinks that she's a demon, whatever.
Yeah, that was hilarious. It felt just, I was waiting for some onions. I was waiting for a wood stick. Like, she's going for the total stereotypical. Yeah. And look, yo, by the way, her friends are the most supportive as fucking friends. Because to literally be
homies.
That are the homies. Are the homies are like ride or die. Like, you literally have your best friend literally saying, yo, I believe she's a demon. I believe she's crazy. And your friends think you're crazy. But they can't say that because they're like, hey, I'm going to support you. Sure, whatever you're going through, I'm going to be there behind you. You may be crazy, but I got you. And I love that. Because that's some true friendship shit. Like, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people will be like, nah, I'm not going to fuck with this. I'm going to leave this plan. I'm going to do my own thing. A lot of friends, and also that's two of them. Usually it's one friend. So two of them to support and be there. Yo, I love it. I support it. By the way, Walken said, I came in at the perfect time. Knuckles crack. Yes, continue your filler.
And then the final arc is the actual fight we see. So again, I'm gonna say this outright, which this is why it wasn't top tier, right? So Arya, they're looking for the ball, Ken and Momo and Turbo Granny, and then Arya comes out of the blue, like with the stuff ready. She was like, "Yo, Momo, we need to talk," and she was like, "I'm in the middle of something. No, we need to talk right now." Oh, okay.
But
next scene. Wait. So then she fucking takes her to a whole ass abandoned warehouse, right? Yeah. And then she goes walking in like, okay, we're here. What we need to talk about? Oh, okay. Surprise attack. She gets down like, die, demon, die. I'm like, bro, that's the biggest trope in any anime. Are you telling me you're that retarded that you will go to a fucking abandoned warehouse? You walked God knows how long from the fucking school to this fucking warehouse that's abandoned. You don't even trust this girl. You don't even like this girl. And you're going to follow her to some abandoned-ass warehouse that took God knows how long to walk, to talk. You couldn't have just talked in the school. You couldn't even have talked fucking outside school. You have to walk God knows how long to an abandoned warehouse to then get trapped. Nah, that's what killed it for me personally. That was so stupid.
I agree. 100%. That's what I was gonna mention too. Like, yo, if you're gonna talk to me, for example, walking a 5-block radius to talk, I would have stopped on the first 2 blocks. I'd be like, bitch, you say you want to talk. Why do we need to go 5 blocks to a warehouse, to the abandoned warehouse, and bring me? Like, yo, high school students in animes trust people way too much. They be like, hey, I need to talk. And they walk, take a train ride, they take a car ride, go down the borough, and be like, all right, cool, we came here. What are we talking about? Like, So y'all couldn't talk during this whole 5 block of a walking distance. Y'all couldn't express your thoughts of what y'all need to express. This makes no logical sense. But hey, this is high school anime kids literally trusting the most of anybody. Makes no sense.
I was heated. So then, to wrap it up, you get in, then you see, Arya trying to get the demon out of her, but you just see her spirit powers like slap these girls, and that slap was ghastly. You hear like the bam, and these girls went flying. Her best friends who try to trap her, they flying, they got hurt.
They're dead.
I thought they were gonna die. Yeah,
they're dead.
I'm sorry.
If you get hit by a spirit of probably air pressure, is probably what they're feeling. But if you get hit by an air pressure of wind, is what they got smacked by most likely, not by a hand. On a regular human, you dead. Like, you literally got hit by an abandoned warehouse, hit to the wall. Most likely there's old pipes and metal, and you're like, most likely you got a metal pipe through the leg. But hey, it's anime. Most likely they're good. Probably a couple of bandages, bruises, but they're Gucci, so that's my guess. But it's just funny how literally Momo wasn't with the shits. She's like, bitch, what you talking about? Alien who? Me demon? No. You got this whole story wrong.
Yeah, you get it right direction, but wrong concept. Like, no. That's not what this is.
But the question I have for you.
Okay.
For this monster-looking type of cursed demon, kept screaming to Ira, "I'm your mother. I've been waiting for you to finally see me." Do you think that she's actually her dead mother that been waiting to see her?
No. So, again, I have been spoiled on certain things, and what I mean by spoiled is I know Arya's character. So, again, I'm not going to bring that what I know, that spoiler to here, but I know that she knows something about her, so I know that something about her character. So, because I know the information, I know that because of that, therefore she cannot be her mother. 100%. I just think, for the sake of argument, she can see spirits, but now a lot more better due to the fact that she touched the ball, the golden ball, and now that she touched it, her kind of like with Momo, she has maybe spiritual powers, something like that. So maybe she has that type of ability as well too.
I remember in the beginning of the episode, Granny Turbo, which is hilarious in the cat form, is hilarious now. Watching the ending song, knowing that's Turbo Gurney playing with the hair dryer and all those things of the home appliance is hilarious now, knowing who that is. So with Turbo Granny telling Momo and Ken like, hey, I'll drop your balls somewhere in the town so any spirit or anybody could grab them. So that's why I was like, I love how Ken was like, how the fuck do you grab my balls? Like, how do you just drop them? And finding out that anybody that grabs them could awaken any spiritual power that they had reside in them. Once that was explained, I'm like, cool. So that means our girl Ira always had spiritual abilities but never was awakened. Not that she grabbed the balls of the huevas, now she could see them. But the way the spirit said that I've been waiting for you all this time to finally see me, it just makes it more questionable in the aspect.
So she might have had a moment where, and again, this is all speculation, it's all theories. I'm not familiar with the manga. I'm not, familiar with the anime, from what I know. But just from what I can tell, I think in the moment of her childhood, she might have seen the spirit, the one that the boss that they're fighting right now, right? This mom, and that's why she can't stop looking for Arya. But Arya's only able to see her for that moment, and I guess she forgot about it. And now we're in the present where her powers weren't as strong as maybe when she was a child or something like that, or even like she just saw for a moment, now she didn't. Now because of the golden ball, her powers have now exponentially grown to now where she can see spirits, and it just happens to be that spirit that she saw when she was a child. But realistically, we won't really know until the next episode. It could potentially even be her mother. We're both wrong. I really don't know. It could go both ways. But the fact of the matter is that I think that she has powers, and maybe with or without the golden ball, we see her help out in a way with Momo and with Ken. It's yet to be seen. And again, I was spoiled on some things, so I think I have an idea of what might happen next episode and how she might feel towards the both of them after the fight scene.
Love it. All right. Because the reason I say that is because the character we're seeing as the cursed little form demon that she's saying is calling herself the mother. She reminded me of, anybody remember the poster of Inspector? Inspector is another webtoon anime adaptation. Inspector, the monster demon was also like a mother figure. I think the character was in the 30s and everything, and it was a curse or a yokai as well, known to be. And she had like a cement type of tower on as a weapon, and that's what it reminded me from this little cursed spirit type of demon thing going on in Dandadan. So it kind of reminds me of the specs of the both characters, but nothing in relation of power. Really curious to see smart of how Momo fights. It shows that our boy Ken is the pure brute force. We know that he already turned into his cursed form once. Curious to see when it happens the second time and how is he gonna go ham in the next episode. And how Momo is a very strategist, and Granny Turbo. Curious to see how she's gonna evolve to like Momo and Ken, because right now she hates them, even though she kind of is working with them in a way. Like she's just there stalling. She's like, by the way, I don't like you. You know, you weak ass spirit form. And you can't kill me because you're saying you ate something bad and you're about to throw up. And I love how she's just talking and just stalling time. So I'm really curious to see how that relationship is gonna develop throughout time.
I feel like it's already been shown. Turbo Granny is very is a nice person at heart. She talks the talk, but when it comes to walking and walking, she does what she does. And the perfect example is literally what we saw maybe 2 episodes ago. I'm sorry, yeah, 2 episodes ago, where the exposition of Turbo Granny, what she was like when all those girls who were killed and the bad things that happened to them. She let them pass through, the tunnel and everything. She gave them a chance and everything like that. She was there for them when nobody else was. So the fact of the matter is that, like, I feel like she's gonna do the exact same thing with these kids. She's gonna, in maybe some way, shape, or form, like grow to them and be more reasonable with them. Because at the end of the day, it's in the way of the world. Like, it just so happened that she stumbled upon these two, children, and they have no ill intent towards her. They just really want to go back to their regular lives, as they say. So I think after going on a couple of adventures, some fights with them, I think she's gonna grow into them and potentially like show her true colors, which is actually like she's not a bad person. She just so happens to be evil because of whatever her past was and everything that you see for her to become Turbo Granny. There was a piece of manga that was spoiled to me again, and it shows the type of character that Turbo Granny is. That's why I just only on that alone, and I'm going based off that with the manga. I know she's going to help them in the future. I don't know how, what shape, way, or form, but I'm looking forward to see her character development, how she grows to be a better character.
Oh yeah, same. I by choice read chapter 54 and 55 for no apparent reason on a random Monday, Tuesday night, I believe it was last week, and I believe last week, 2 weeks ago, I chose to literally just read episode chapter 54, 55 on the Weekly Shonen Jump app on the browser, I think on Viz. So I chose to read it, and I saw some cool action scene with Ken and with the cat of Turbo Granny, but I'm not gonna spoil anything else from that. It was pretty cool to see, but can't wait to see if that happens in the season or if that's something in the future. But other than that, I have no more thoughts when it comes to Danadan, when it comes to the characters of Ira, the mom, and the fight and the characterization that we saw. I was really entertained by it, and I can't wait to see episode 7 for next week for our discussion and where it could turn out to be.
No, I'm the same way. I'm looking forward to the fight. That's why, it was the beginning. That's why I haven't graded so high. And the same thing, with the whole, warehouse thing. I know it's okay. I think it was a good episode. Next episode, when we start going down, seeing more of the deposition, more everything, like the whole thing, I think that's when we're gonna go crazy. And I think the ranking right now is 4 for this week, and I can see why. I think it's gonna go higher next week. I think after seeing the whole fight, how they're gonna defeat the mom, I think that's what's gonna make or break next week.
I agree. So without further ado, guys, this is the conclusion to our show. Right here is to talk about our reflection. That is a wrap on our 3rd episode of Off the Binge. What did you guys think of this episode? We appreciate for anybody tuning in, lurking. We appreciate for the team to passing by and supporting. Big shout out to Jokestar and Walkers himself, and for the people that tuned in earlier was Fathom, and to my friend Chaotic Pulse to be here. But for my quick thoughts is, man, anime is great. The fun is to be discussing the good in the weekly anime experience. Like I mentioned earlier, that some animes I'm noticing was good as a weekly watch through and as a binge. So it's good to notice that and keep up to date with that. Other than that, talk your shit and defend your wifey.
On God, you could have said it more better.
And how about you, Crash?
Oh, side characters getting the L this week. Justice for Hina! What else can I really say about this week? Freya, Winissimo, you're looking fine, mommy, please. My hotline open for you. And, Initiates, Assassins, we are here always. We work in the shadows. Shout out to you guys.
Yes, if you're an assassin, join the Brotherhood. Other than that, we appreciate for everyone coming in for this week. Thank you. As I said in the beginning of the episode, we have Anime Binge podcast coming in this week for Arcane Season 1 coverage. And then after that will be Season 2, Part 1 and Part 2. Most likely, or we do like a regular episode and just wait for Part 3 to come out and just do us a 1. Haven't thought about that yet. We appreciate for checking out Sean and Ronan coming soon. The website coming soon. Audio feed this week for Off the Binge and other audio platforms on Audi. Check out Podbean, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, and such as everything everywhere else. Other than that, stay tuned for episode 4, where we continue exploring the best anime of this season has to offer, plus maybe a few surprises along the way. Thanks for listening to Off the Binge podcast. We'll see you in the next one. Continue supporting Anime Studio.
Albedo, come back, Albedo. I hope she comes back in season 5. God, I really, really hope she comes back season 5.
And you are my servant.